So my mind got to focus on making sure he's safe.
Right.
I can't be thrown off my dean listening to his speech. I got to make, you got two kind of FY. You got the hope FY and you got the wish FY. See, the hope FY, hope nothing happened. The wish FY is I wish a nigga would.
Say, I wish a nigga
would. I had that wish a nigga would look on me. I look at a nigga and it's gonna be you. Nigga, I wish you would.
I wish you would.
I wish you would. I'm one of them wish niggas, man. I ain't no hope.
Can't say I want to wish.
Shit, I wish a nigga would. I need to be tested. You may be the one today. I need my faith tested. I talk a lot of smack. Let test Captain D's faith. Shoot.
I hear you, though.
Say, Cap, you can bag it up, though.
Please, listen, let me tell you something. You don't be his point man because you're scared. Have you ever been in the military and you're the point man? They put the point man out there to draw the fire. If there's some assassin in the bushes, the point man's job is to either draw the fire or the people.
Right.
So you can't be no coward. I'm the minister of point man. I walk out that door and he's right behind me. I pray to Allah, if there's a would-be assassin, hit me first. That give the soldiers behind me enough time to get the minister out the way.
Come on now.
But I'm going to take one for the team, partner.
Come on.
You can't be the point man to be no coward.
Ain't a lot of them out here.
No, you can't be no point man, you a coward. Man, I walk him in. Whether I walk him into the venue, I walk him out the venue. Soon as he threw from that point, from that to the car, to him, it's the most dangerous time. We can cover a lot of area, but they got stuff to get shoot off the drone today. If they really want to take the minister out the game. They could take the minister whole entourage.
Say, shoot out the drone. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't shoot the drone, man. The drone is what took out some of the great generals.
Right.
But if it wasn't for the baby planes take out the drone.
What's the baby plane?
They call them the UFOs.
Oh,
but they're not unidentified flying objects.
They on our people.
Shit, that's the thing come off that mother plane.
Them our people. Them ain't no alien monsters.
They talking about, man, they've been seeing UFOs, man. We've been teaching on this, man, for 91 years. Emeritus Muhammad said there's a plane up above our head that no man can see that's for half a mile by half a mile. And on that plane is 1,500 baby planes that you see, UFOs. These are one these pilots be chasing. You can't catch them. They move faster than light, faster than speed.
Straight up embarrassing them.
And they black men that's flying them.
They be teasing them.
Yeah.
They're talking about seriously teasing them.
Yeah.
Man,
seen just about every video they got out.
They show this. It's coming out a whole lot that now Congress is acknowledging they exist.
That's the first time I ever heard it.
I know it probably is because they had it classified and they had it all kept a secret from the public.
Yeah, this is the first time they acknowledge it exists, man.
They know everything the minister's saying is the holy truth.
The most recent one, they were over Nevada, and that's what the generals got upset. So they knocked out all the power of the nuclear weapons. They can knock out a battleship's power. Electrical power, no plane can get off the battleship. They have, so they could have been and took the minister out the game. But they know that the minister rode with a crew they can't see. He's a divine man of God, whether they want to accept that or not. You don't move a man around the world talking smack like the minister talk. And nobody put their hands on him. No. But the minister, when we out the country, the minister don't say nothing that would insult them people in that country. You don't speak ill of those people in that country. He's a smart man. Nor do we speak too far about the ill of America while he's out the country. But he stays in the scripture, which he's protected. So if you want to attack me and what I say, attack me from the scripture. That's all. If he say he called it the synagogue of Satan, you mad because he said the Jews are not Jews, but they the synagogue of Satan. Don't come out. It's in the Bible in Revelation. I didn't say that.
It's written.
You mad at me because Farrakhan called the Jews? You fight the Bible. I'm just quoting what it say. I just quoted in Abraham when he says, we be the father of Abraham. He said, we be the children of Abraham. He said, yeah, if Abraham was your father, you love me, partner.
The audio good, man. I just checked the track good. Sound good, look good, the whole thing.
Don't get me started.
Keep
No,
going,
roll, Cap.
keep
Roll,
going, Cap.
baby, roll,
Keep
roll,
going, Cap.
keep rolling.
Shoot.
We here for, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, a minister. See, and this is why they can't touch him, because he stayed wrapped up in the Quran. He stayed wrapped up in the Bible, and he stayed wrapped up in the Torah, and he exposed the Talmud.
Yeah, he do. But
He fighting from their own scripture.
That's the thing about the minister. He's so versatile.
Yeah.
And he's learned every angle, but then also it backs up everything that he's saying.
If you get mad at me, then go to the scripture.
Yeah,
He said Jesus would look like a terrorist with a 1-minute bite on him. He said you could make any man, the greatest man of God, you could make him like a terrorist if you just quote 1 minute of it, but you don't quote the whole words that he said. Oh, and so he's our guide. He's my guide. He's Brother DeWaun's guide, because we men who out on the battlefield, we need a general to follow.
That's right.
We don't need no fool to follow.
Right, it's a bunch of them.
These airways are sacred, man. You can use it to, you know what the minister said? He said to Khalid, Khalid was one of our brilliant generals. The minister used to say, Khalid, stop preaching to the cheap seats. Donald Trump preached to the cheap seats. He preached to the ignorant of Caucasian people who's moved by emotions. But you don't preach to the intelligent of people who's moved by the intellectual words of truth.
Come on.
Oh, man, you always going to have them out there, rebel rousers. Is that who you want to
say? Rebel.
Yeah, rebel rousers, that's all. Them the ones that followed them up in the Capitol. Anybody with intelligence when they ran up in that Capitol. Them wasn't the smart. Little white people.
He sure did, though.
They trying to take a shit on
man, brother, is that intelligent? Is that intelligent?
Not by far.
Man, them trailer park come out the backwoods of Yazoo, Mississippi.
Nah, he ain't lying.
No intelligent white man would have went up in that Capitol. So he preached to the cheap seats. And these the ones he trying to rouse now about his arrest. But one thing, them dumb, even the dumbest of white folks begin to say, you know, he left us out there. Did he leave him out there?
He left him out
Everybody went to jail with him.
You're right.
He didn't put up no bail money or put nothing on that daggone books.
So,
at least he could have put something on his books.
Yeah. He wasn't thinking about them more than
No. Talking about I'll leave you. Come on.
Right.
He didn't even show up at the party. And then he wanted the people to tear up something because they arrested him.
Right.
The most humbling time, and they caught him. I didn't know they caught him. Look at the whole thing. Is when the man didn't open up the door for him to come through. The newsman caught it. Donald Trump, when he was coming in to go into the courtroom, the guard didn't open the door for him. The guard went in, and the door hit Donald Trump. And he had to open up his own door. And that's when the newsman said, never before of a man that stature never had a door open for a former president.
Wow.
Then letting him know.
When was this?
This is when he was going, right when he was going into the trial, when he was going in the courtroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watch that piece. As he was walking in, and that door, and that one dude dropped the door, and instead of opening the door, come through, he had to open up the door himself. And the newsman on CNN News caught it. Said never before have he not had the door open up for him because he was a president. He's used to.
Right.
Not this time, partner. You're a criminal. You are now a criminal. You don't get executive privileges.
That's right.
And that was reality. That was a reality for Donald Trump. Is that who you want to say, brother?
Okay. So we all sounding good back there, Brother D?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so we can go ahead and start tapping in. So definitely peace and blessings, everyone. Captain Dennis was just giving us a whole lecture just even before we even got on the show, right? You know what I'm saying? Dropping knowledge and information that we need to have and share. And so it's a quite honor, man, just to have a brother this magnitude, man, here in Flint, right? Holding down the set. Just a legendary spirit, right?
Thank you.
Follower of Farrakhan, right? Honorable Farrakhan. Oh man, every time I have a conversation like this, you always dropping jewels, you always dropping knowledge, man. And I'm from the era where we sit down and listen at the feet of our elders, man, and they're enlightened, right? And so we always appreciate what you bring to the table. So without further ado, I want to introduce our special guest for today, Captain Dennis Muhammad. Make some noise, baby.
Man, brother. Man, listen, peace and love.
Peace and love, brother.
Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim family in Ramadan
Yes,
Mubarak.
Yes,
And I'm honored to be here on this show, man.
Yes, sir.
Brother DeWaun he really don't know the same feeling that he had about me. The feeling is mutual. I followed this young warrior. And as he called me an elder, I thought about that. I said, man, I am old. And I done reached up. Wait up now, ain't I? I just turned 60.
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I'm gonna embrace it all.
A lot of people don't make it, right?
I didn't turn 69 years of age, and I thank God that I'm still around to be relevant.
Yeah.
Brother Rodney, I'm like the guy that I've been benched for many years. That's all right as long as they're up 25 points. But now they done lost the lead. Now the coach finally looking over at me. They want to put me back in the game, brother. Right? I don't mind but getting back in the game. But if I give you the lead again,
nothing wrong with it,
man.
Once you play point,
Yeah. They need that 3-point shooter in there, man. But I'm so honored to still be around, to be relevant, and most certainly to be on my brother's show. I was honored as he invited me, because today it is men like Brother DeWaun that is the baton of what we handed over to him. Those of us who been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
He's now the man who, has the ball. And we have to block to make sure he get to the goal.
Yes, sir.
I just said that the enemy is all around us. It's our betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And we said before we came on the airway that the enemy is no longer cold. There used to be a time we had to figure out who he was.
Right.
He wears it with honor that I'm the enemy.
Come on now.
We think his time of rule is not over.
Mm-hmm.
But we are today
Yes, sir.
to lead our people out of the choppy waters
Yes, sir.
of gun violence. We have to lead our people out of the choppy waters of homelessness,
Mm-hmm.
out of the choppy waters of domestic violence. We have to fight with all the power we have to save our youth. My dear brother DeWaun, if the minister was sitting in this seat, I would truthfully say that he comes from what we call the Joshua generation.
Mm.
Out of all of those was with Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Moses is seen in the scripture as a great liberator, but Moses didn't see the promised land.
Come on.
Moses made one statement, and that one statement out of all of the great work that Moses done, and he was a soldier for God. He went up against the great Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
It was Moses' great words that we quote, "Let my people go."
Yeah.
But the great work of Moses and his love that Jehovah had for him, he made an independent statement of God. And his words was, "Must I strike water from that rock?" And God said, Moses, you can't do nothing independent of me. Mm-hmm. And because of those independent words, he was deprived the promised land. But the man that was able to lead them to promised land was Joshua. And Joshua went in when they went to spy the land that God has promised them. Those that was with Joshua, they got scared because they seen giants in the land. And they came back with the reports and can't get that land. We ain't giants in the land of Joshua. No, we can take it.
I said, no, we don't take it.
So God seen Joshua's spirit, and he told Joshua, go around the walls of Jericho 7 times, and then blow the horn. And he said, and I would tear down the walls of Jericho. Here's what I want you to do, Josh. When you go in, kill everybody.
Right.
Kill the old, kill the young, kill the animals, don't leave nobody but the harlot who gave y'all refuge when y'all came in the spot. The only person that gave them refuge was the old harlot who told them to come in, and that's how they escaped the spies. Now, what does that say about the generation of Joshua? It means that his task, his spirit, is a spirit of war and fighting. But he don't have no fear because other people who are sitting in the position of leadership, they're afraid because America looks like a giant. Sometimes the local politicians may look like giants.
Right.
But this brother has the spirit of Joshua. And our job is to help him get to where God wants to go. I've been a captain for 40 years. I've trained many men around the nation of Islam. I'm affectionately called Emeritus. I didn't even know when the minister gave me the title Emeritus what it meant. I couldn't even spell it. Let's know what it meant. He called me out one time in Chicago, Illinois, among all the fruit. He says, where's Captain Dennis? And then he stopped. He says, where Emeritus Captain Dennis? Emeritus is that holy name. And he called me out, and I had to look up the word emeritus. First, I had to spell it. I didn't gave it many spellings. But there you go. Look at the title. When I looked at it, it means that he afforded me leave and retirement with the title, rank, and position. And that's why a general is always called a general because even if not active, you still call him general. Even though the man's not president, you still call him Mr. President.
That's right.
So even though I'm not active as a captain, I'm brother captain. And those who are emeritus, they are the highest ranking as OGs to give counsel. So who do you think America called when she about ready to go into war? The new rookie generals? She called out them old generals.
Right.
Been in many battles. Because the scripture says, old men for counsel, young men for war. So I'm happy to be next beside my brother.
Yes, sir.
I see his future. And I'm not saying that to stroke, and this is the God's truth. I don't come to stroke. But I've always did what God put in my heart to do, is give him the wisdom that the minister would give him, so that he'd be able to get that ball across that goalpost. And as we said, many of those in young leadership, we get frustrated because the scripture said many are called, a few are chosen.
That's true.
And I'm here to support my brother. I hope to show he asked me questions. There's many things that I've seen happening with Flint. I don't come as an outsider because I could never be an outsider when we cover 196,940,000 square miles. I'm going to be an outsider when I'm a member of the original nation of black people. I'm going to be an outsider. You can't say, well, you don't know Flint. Well, Captain. I said, have you been anywhere else? Have you been around the country? What can you compare that to if you never traveled outside the city? Flint meeting the same challenges, dear brother, that every major black community in America faces. But there's one thing that Flint, Michigan got, if I humbly could say, out of all my travels, Flint, Michigan has a spirit of change. Because of the water crisis, Thank you. Because of the water crisis, it took and made and put Flint on the national and international stage because Allah permitted it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not nobody that don't know what Flint. As soon as I say, Brother Mom, I'm going to Flint, oh, where they got that water problem at? That's what they're attached to Flint. Am I right? That's what they're attached to, y'all. But that's okay. Because they're going to see y'all rise like the phoenix out. See, you're going to rise and rise. There's a few little business that has to be taken care of, but I'm leave that to him. You know,
I'm leaning on you.
But together, this man represents that Joshua. He represents youth. And let me tell you about young people. Our youth today don't care what you know. They just know that you care.
That's right. That's right.
They loyal, man.
Yep, they are.
When they know you got their best interests, they down with you. But never betray them. Never betray them. And the enemy don't want to see our youth rise. So what did he do? He flood our community with guns. Gun violence, Brother DeWaun, is on the national agenda. It is the top. It used to be national security. Foreign invasions, foreign threats was number one. America's not dying from without. She's dying from within. The gun violence that is taking America out the game is not from no Russia. It's not from China.
It's from USO.
It's from right here with homegrown, dissatisfied, mentally disturbed Europeans and some blacks who have such access to guns. Now they have the John Wick 4. Yeah, my wife was going to see that later. She said, well, I ain't seen John Wick 4. I said, you ain't got where you catch up real fast when you see 4.
That's how I feel about Creed.
There you go, there you go. But wait a minute, look at this. That man, John Wick, if you don't leave that movie theater from 1 all the way to 4, looking at the weapons that he had access to, you really don't know who the good guy from the bad guy now. He killed so many people, he got to be the bad guy. How can a good guy kill so many people and still be called a good guy? So what you're looking at, you're looking at how guns become the new sensation. And so as they talk about, they remove those 2 Tennessee representatives.
Actually, Ms. Vada had actually just referred to that.
And listen, I was so happy when I see my man in the nice afro, like Malcolm. I said to myself, he's going to become the new young leader, national leader. Tamika Mallory, I love my sister. She stood up and took women to another level. She's still relevant.
Oh, yeah.
But they came after her real strong. And what happened was they wanted to divide her and Jamal Bryant, the Reverend Jamal Bryant, when they came up on the scene when he was still in Baltimore, they met with the minister. And the minister gave them a platform to speak at our convention. He gave them access to our people from a platform they would never talk to that many. But they didn't know that when you associate yourself with the minister, be prepared now. Be prepared. Because they coming after you for that association. And they went to working hard on Tamika. My man Jamal Bryant, you almost think he don't know the minister no more. He's down there in Atlanta and he's speaking sideways.
Brother D.
And at the same time, what is it about? They don't want the minister to be their guide. So they come after them. We was talking, I want to say this right quick. We was driving through, me and brother, the great student minister, brother Farrakhan, brother Jalil. He's in the audience. I love this brother. He's stronger than Red Devil Live, with the double crossbones. And we back in the room with a hard-hitting sister Lynn. These are my representatives of the Peacekeepers. He's my spokesperson. So we're riding to a meeting, and I see all these cameras, and I see these big trucks. I see this big old machine. I used to run the track holes. And I said, what it is? He said, oh, they doing the demolition. And I see the press there. I said, when do they have the press where they tear down the house? Then I seen our mayor. So I asked him. Now, as I'm riding by, he don't know us. He see us, I need to jump and smack him in the back of the head. Now, he leaves my mains in there. No, don't get that wrong.
Yeah, you just smacked him in the back of the
That's all, look here. But as we was driving by, I'm looking at all these white boys with their helmets on, and there was not one black person. You couldn't give the brother a shovel. You couldn't find one black man that can flag the daggone traffic. You proud to give a contract. I'm sure it's city money, somebody's money. And you didn't make the agreement that we're going to give you this demolition contract. You got to have so many blacks. How would our youth ever get a job if opportunities are not present? So I got
that's that young.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So I left there, and I was little. I just didn't feel good about it. So he got him on the phone, and when he had him on the phone, did you know what the mayor said? Hey man, I heard the minister's tape the other day, and man, I'd like to sit down and talk to the minister. He said it like that. I'd like to sit down, I'd like to talk. He's asking him to set up a meet with me and the minister. I'm sitting in the vehicle. And he said, man, I want you to show what I'm posting what the minister said on my website. Wow. I was sitting with my man Dave May. I was with Eric Mays.
Yeah.
He quickly showed me a picture of him and the minister on his phone. See, many like to quote the minister.
Come on now.
Many like to use the minister.
Yeah.
But I'm the minister's security. I love it.
That's right.
And I'm not short to say many would take the good name of the minister and use it as a shield to hide your dirty political agenda in his name.
Come on now.
Now I'm not going to let nobody do that.
Come on now.
Because you're not sincere.
Yes, sir.
You play politics with our people. You spend millions of dollars right here in Flint, Michigan, and cut none of that money loose. That just means the condition of black people because of the political politics. Got to say it.
Right.
Not going to use the minister's name. Look at the minister. See, I don't give a damn. They never set you up a meeting with the minister if you're a liar. You ain't giving me no money. That ain't gave me one penny. Let's make that clear. Am I right, Jaleel? Yes, sir. We have not took one penny from none of these politics right here in Flint, Michigan. The mayor gave us not one penny. Promised us much. Yep. Eric Mays think we cut it down. I'm telling you, Eric, he gave us nothing. And I watch y'all from far side, and you have now, brother Mr. Mays, become a media sensation. All around the country, we look at you arguing with city council. You gone viral. Are you playing with that now? How many likes you can get? How do you think the outsiders see y'all? Oh, he telling the truth. He is. When you tie up the aspirations of Flint, Michigan, who can get past all that political, personal problems that you have with each other.
Come on now.
Oh, I'm going to say it.
Say it.
You may not like what I say, but it's the truth. And when I drive by and I don't see one black person bringing that damn building down and you giving them the money, before you give
black man giving the money.
you You can't sit there and find not one black youth. How can Brother DeWaun guarantee our youth anything if we don't sit down at the table and guarantee them a seat at the table? This man represents guarantee young people a seat at the table. You might not like what he said, because he speaks truth to power.
That's all we got.
That's all we got, man.
We ain't getting that out anyway. We better stand strong and say something.
And that's why
I'm glad you said that. A lot of brothers wouldn't even come say that.
listen, man,
I got to be honest, man. Not even give it like that.
I'm with the menace. You hear spirit? Do you hear Farrakhan spirit in me?
Oh yeah, man.
I'm not afraid of my leader's not afraid.
Yeah, right.
The leader's not afraid. I've seen him at the daggone with Travis Smalley. What's Travis? Travis Smalley.
Travis.
And he had all the black leaders. There's a video, pull it up.
Yeah, see,
Did he go hard on them? Jesse them sitting there?
Minister went hard on.
Did he go hard?
everything.
Did he go hard?
Come on, man.
Man, I'm gonna be afraid when my leader's not afraid to speak truth to power. You ain't doing nothing with it.
I'm trying to tell you.
No, man. Because see, if the city goes down, you want to ask the question, who's at the helm? Whose leadership were they under? No. That woman down in Memphis, Tennessee, when those officers beat that brother to death. She was a black female chief. You can't have them to go to jail. You don't go to jail because they was under your charge. They could not even form that task force without her permission. She knew what they picked. She knew they don't get. Let me tell you, I train law enforcement around the country. Let me tell you, there is task force. They call them gang force. All around the country, they got different names. In New York City, they was called the street crime unit. In Chicago, they called them the jump out boys. Back in the day, they tried to call them the big fours.
Atlanta is the red dog.
Atlanta's the red dogs. In Memphis, they was called scorpions. And let me tell you, I remember the one they had a name, dog cats.
Top dog.
What was called cats? Cat squad. They only got all kind of names. But the purpose is the same. It is the chief telling them take off the gloves and do what you got to do to stop violence. They come under no rules. But they must get permission when they go to a certain direction in the aggressiveness. But here's the problem with maybe good intentions. See, good intentions can mean we're catching and shopping for tuna, but we get a lot of dolphins in the net. Do you continue to keep trying to get the tunas and the heck with all the dolphins you get? Or do you change your strategy so you don't get no dolphins in the net? See, the problem with that kind of intentions is you get a lot of good people caught up in that net. Because you can't distinguish when you're talking about black people, good thug from a good individual. He wears hat backwards, but that don't mean he's a thug. He wears Timberland boots, that don't mean he's a thug. He'll wear a hoodie, that don't mean he's a thug. But if you put a certain description on what a thug is, we all gonna get stuck and packed down.
And have been.
And you gonna pack me down. But the bottom line is, we have to be very clear that you don't sit down with the community and ask the community how we should be approached.
Right.
And so they killed that brother, they beat him to death. And now color, brutality, don't have a color no more. I can't go in there and say the good black cop is a good cop, the white cop is the racist cop when I do my training. There's only one color, and at the time, that's the color blue.
And just give it to that point, man, I feel conflicted. I think that really speaks to the tune of where we are, man. That's self-hate. We bought into the system, trying to look good in front of other folks. And putting a stop to that. If you're going to be in those circumstances, if you're going to work it from the inside, and work it from the inside, be the change. And that's just, it was so embarrassing. I couldn't even speak on it.
and knowing that we always want to put a label on the white cop, but now somebody I know what's up to one.
Hey.
This wasn't the white cops, man. It was your own kind.
Yeah.
See, it's the same card they pull out on us when they say some of us sold us in the state. Why you mad at us?
Right. That's true.
Some of you black people sold us in the state. See, you give them a justified reason. And let me tell you something. I've trained law enforcement for 35 years. We just trained the Syracuse Police Department in August under Chief Roof. 62 officers we trained. I'll tell you what we gave them. We started the training with the Flint police officers. Chief Green agreed for me to train 100 of Flint police officers. We trained 40. No, we trained 20 of them. And he stopped because he said he had to get me. So that was about a year and a half ago. We stopped. We had 80 more to complete the training. I keep calling when we going to get it. He said, we secured the funds, Captain. He called this man how long ago, Brother Jalil?
About 3 weeks ago.
What did he say to you? What did Chief Green say to you?
I need Captain Dennis number. We ready to start back to training.
Which is for me to do 80 offers. I called this man didn't answer the phone since I've been calling. Now I'm asking the question. You called for me, but then you won't answer the phone when I call you?
Wow.
Now what's the problem here? Again, politics. Now let me tell you why this is very important about the training. There is no trust that black people have for law enforcement, nowhere in the country. I don't even want to speak on your man Swanson.
Speak on.
He's a guy that think he really know black people. He really do. He really do think he
But
know
you got
black
some
people.
black people just playing the game.
Oh, they love. Listen. They love him.
Know the difference.
He invited a group of black preachers at a meeting, and he gave them a $20 gift card. Now wait a minute. If I'm lying, Brother Julian, what did he give y'all?
20 or 25.
With the whole country bucket.
This is what he think about. This is what he think about black leadership. He believes. I don't know. This is you're talking about some real chicken and biscuit stuff here. I looked at this dude, man. I was in a meeting with him.
Oh man,
Swanson, man, this dude is. He had that running for governor swag. Trying to appeal to everybody. And he believed that the leadership today is black preachers. I had to tell myself, listen, Sheriff, the preachers don't have the ear to black people no more. That was back in the 60s. Ain't nobody listening to the preacher. The youth ain't going to the church. You think the leadership is black preachers? And he looked shocked.
Was he ready to preach?
Yeah, he looked, I sit there, I'm in the room with him, and I'm looking at this dude, and I said, y'all falling for this smile that he's with y'all. No. Now, see, you have to be very careful of the people that come with a smile. If we so quick to like them, they give us a little privilege or badge, or as Pharaoh said, nearness to me. That's when Pharaoh invited the skillful challenge. If you could defeat the truth of Moses, he said, well, what would we get if you did this, Pharaoh? I would give you nearness to me. Are you so anxious that he call you and give you a title? He give you a position. He called you his new an emissary to the black community, and you head Negro in charge. Special forces. You in trouble? You can get his mama a ticket off her daggone windshield.
Just bring it to me.
Give a car a pound. Thank you, Swanson. But you don't say nothing when your guys beat that man in the hospital in Holly. Hurley, I'm sorry.
John Fleming.
John Fleming. It was your guys. You didn't want to get rid of them. You came with an old thing showing that they was justified according to their training. Come on, man.
That's true.
See, there's some of us, we see you. You may not like me, but you ain't gave me. I gave you an opportunity to accept that training. You did everything. You didn't want me to give training to your troops. You tried to say, Captain Dennis, money. I asked too much. Too much for what? When you got millions of dollars lawsuits.
Right.
That we, the citizens, got to pay. When your officer beats somebody, you get sued.
Right.
You don't say nothing about the millions of settlements that you got to settle, and we only ask you for $30,000, $40,000. Where is that?
They got 30 million in the annual operating budget.
Compared to the millions, and I'm saying the same thing with the chief. With all of the lawsuits that's right now that Flint, Michigan Police Department is facing for your officers mishandling the citizens. Millions of dollars that the citizens have to pay. And you worried about these tools of fuse that Captain Muhammad asked for. When I can train your officers to teach them the proper handling of people.
That's right.
No. Political politics. But that's okay. See, what you don't recognize, that in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a part in the scripture said there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. When something has outwore its time, we're going into what we call spring, right?
Right.
So we taking off the winter clothes. It's crazy, Brother Rodney, to see a man in August with a daggone meat coat on, and he out of season. He out of season. So what we're saying is, what season is it? Because we said there's a time to love and there's a time to hate. Once upon a time, hating was really in season. Oh, we had haterade, hating. Hate wasn't real. It was in season.
Yeah, it was.
But let me tell you now, hating's out of season. Love is in season now.
I like that.
And those who come with the hate, I'm sorry, you had your season. This is love season. See this love we got up here?
It's real love.
It's real love. It is this kind of love that's going to take young people out of the trenches of self-hatred.
That's right. That's right.
Our young people
More than they hate themselves.
are victims of self-hatred. But DeWaun will tell you in a minute, self-hatred cannot predicate this self-knowledge. You got to give our young people a knowledge of self first. It is the knowledge of self that produces self-love. You can't give them self-love and they don't know who they are. You can't love what you don't know.
Right.
So we must give them first, number one, the knowledge of self. And the knowledge of self will produce self-love. These young men don't know who they are. Ain't nobody teaching them who they are. They not, Brother Rodney, they not learning it in the schools. What are they learning who they are? Who's teaching them?
Presence.
See? Go ahead.
When you talk about self-love, it's very important that we kind of hone in on that. That's the education.
Yes.
Yeah, all we getting taught in schools and all we getting perpetuated here in the community, 400 years of slavery, right? Black people being the permanent lower class, right? And you get reinforced at every level, but in the employment sectors, in the financial sectors, housing, right? Education, it's in all these sectors. So we always see it. Until we start valuing each other, first valuing ourselves. Just look in the mirror and love yourself.
That's right.
First and foremost.
That's right.
Then you can love that brother and that sister, because why would you want to hurt something that's reflecting you? So we got to get to that. And the young people, we actually been in these times now. We have been, left to the side. Just like how you're talking about leadership in this community. They're supposed to make a way for generations to come. They ain't setting up the legacy plan. How you gonna look after you're done? It's no continuity. You're not training.
We're not building up capital for us. And there's money down there. So that's why I be mad as hell.
But I love that. See, let me tell you something. If you ain't angry, something wrong with you.
Right.
But there's two kind of angers. There's anger for the right reason and anger for the wrong reason.
Right.
You got to understand that the minister has a cadre of young. Look at Bennett. Look at Brother Nuri.
Brother being out there getting to it.
See, Nuri,
RZA.
Dr. Wesley. The minister got some power. Brother minister he got a powerhouse. Most of they behind him.
Yeah.
So if you think you take Farrakhan out the game and that's it, I'm sorry. You can't take Farrakhan out the game and leave Mustafa intact.
Oh my God.
You can't take him out the game and leave Captain Dennis intact.
Right.
You can't take him out the game and leave Nuri and Ben. So if you got Farrakhan, you're gonna take out the game. You think it's over with? I'm sorry. You can't take him out the game and leave this man intact.
Exactly.
When I spoke what I said about the local league, there's no indictment to the individual. Because it ain't what somebody call you, what you answer to. The people of Flick must want better in their leadership. Hold your leadership to the fire. I respect and love my man Mays. Eric, I mean, brilliant. I like my man Neely. He got some, listen. But when you get into the petty politics and you get bogged down with personal fights, you lose sight of the bigger picture.
That's right.
The people lose, not you. Then you come back 4 years later and you wanted to vote, and there's nothing that you accomplished during the time y'all was arguing, fighting. You're going to let the white man take the money back.
And we allowed to let it happen.
And that's my
You don't
point.
step up and do nothing about it.
You can't get mad at this man. He used this platform to come after you. I'm with him on that.
Right.
If you're doing your job, then you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right.
We're not your enemy.
Yeah.
We're not your enemy. Let's make that clear. We're not you. You are our brother.
We will support you.
You can't go skip it.
Even if we were at odds, you doing the job and you serving the constituents, we will support you.
See how I said that? So some people don't know. See, you got the enemy that would take this. And all they would hear is what we said.
Right.
Get beyond that. I got no dog in this fight. I'm not speaking from no personal enviness and junk because I really don't know none of y'all. I look into the good intentions.
Right.
But when I see the condition about people all around the country and white people laughing at us, we had a black man in Detroit, Michigan. When he got convicted, they said, get the white boy back in power. Everywhere we have black mayors, we get less accomplished. Everywhere we have black chiefs, we have a rise in crime and violence. Everywhere we have an all-black city council, we get bogged down. Everywhere in the country, look at the history. This ain't just in Flint.
And it's intentional.
We are standing in the way of our own progress. And you're right, it's not intentional. And white folks laugh, they're going to give it back to us. They just,
After they stole the assets, use all the
yeah.
They
They give it to you as it's empty. They give you the city when it's at the top. There you go.
Then when we fail and get to see, I told y'all
They don't give you this. That's what the black business loan used to be. Just enough money for you to spend. Give them Negroes black businesses just enough so they can fail. They never give you enough that you need. And then they dangle these little political dollars at you. And you snapping like a daggone alligator jumping up for some chicken. It really ain't enough to feed you tomorrow, let's alone today. And we still in that for look so little.
Hey.
So what we have today is new leadership.
New leadership.
Hey man, I'm telling you, the gig is up. Our people are tired of it. And let me tell you something. That's why we do these barbershop talk. We're gonna be at the barbershop tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 12 at Kevin Wilson barbershop, Corona Road, 2046, Corona Road.
Let me tell you something about the barbershop. Let me tell you why we do the barbershop. See, that's where the youth at. See, the barbershop is the new church.
It's true.
All the barbershop is what we call the United Nations. It's sovereign territory.
Okay.
See, that's where the young people at. You want to come and you want to push your political agenda, come to the barbershop. And sit among youth and tell them what you want to do and let them decide whether they're going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The preacher can't come in the barber shop when you got them youngest man sitting there on the phone waiting to get that cut and you talking God, they looking at you. Because to them, you the same dude that's taking my grandmama's money every Sunday. You the same dude that ride around in the Cadillac while my grandmama can't even pay her bills. We got a church on every corner. Amen. But look at the condition of Flint, Michigan. Huh?
Or that neighborhood.
Or that neighborhood. And you talking about Jesus saying, really? You just had Easter. Oh, every preacher loves Easter. That's the only time we go dress up and give God one day out of a year is Easter. Even the dog dude may go to church on Easter. That's dying quickly. You can see Jesus resurrected, but we can't see the community resurrected. See, we have to be very careful because the new slavery is religion. The new slavery is politics. And now the new addiction in slavery is social media. Do you know the greatest addiction is not alcohol or drugs, it's attention? Brother Rodney, that's a new addiction. Attention. Everybody wants attention. Social media is the only platform where the nobody in their mind can get attention. But what price do they pay for attention? What would they do on social media for attention? I'll kill my husband on social media. I'll commit suicide on social media. I'll show you me having sex with a dog on social. I want attention. I want attention. I want attention. And we have allowed TikTok. And let me tell you, we sitting up in this room, we can hear some. We looking for a bomb, hey, man. Listen, I'm driving it on you. What do TikTok represent?
Come on now.
It's the ticking of time. Tick, tock.
Yeah, that is. You know, in US, China sells the US version where they can do all these videos. That's what I do with the trends, the song.
It's different in China.
They do all the song and dance over here. But in China, they restrict it. So they only get 1 hour of playtime. Everything else, 23 hours education.
Yeah, that's true.
They preparing them.
They know what they know what it does. You got to look at yourself. I do not prescribe this is God truth to TikTok. My poor wife, they got her. They got my wife. They got me. Oh, they got her. I got to send her to TikTok rehab.
Right. My children too.
But I'm Instagram rehab. I got to go to Instagram rehab. I'm really old school Facebook too, you know?
I'm about old school.
So we ain't talking about them. We got our own rehabilitation we got
our
to
own
do.
vice.
But you know what? You won't see us do no madness, though.
Right.
You won't see Captain Dennis posting something that's madness. I don't see none of you posting of madness. We use the same platform media to propose positive. That's why the minister is out doing everything on Instagram. The minister he's leading. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting down with the minister now. Mm-hmm. He's silenced out in crazy, violent fights that we putting out. That's getting silenced. The minister is quieting all of the madness. And now the young people into Farrakhan. The young people quoting Farrakhan.
Right.
So we absolutely moving in on it. But it ain't like, we like how the Third Reich was moving in and conquering Europe. They show all the red. My man had world dominance on his mind. Hitler had world dominance on his mind. And he focused, but the first thing he did was called propaganda. He was a great orator. He understood the power of communication. You couldn't take Germany to where it's what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about the negative what he did, but I want to show you the principle how he was able to promote an evil, wicked thought. He used the power of communication. But look what Hitler did. Hitler made the people of Germany see how the world was laughing at them. Hitler rose up on the backs of making the Germans believe you better than everybody on this planet because they had just lost in World War I. I'm talking about the principle. And out of that principle, he used that to rise Germany out of the ashes, but for a wicked reason. But if you look at the condition of Black people today, they need somebody to raise them up out of this condition.
That's right.
We're not giving the people a lie of who they are. Minister Farrakhan tell them who they are by God's definition of who you are. I'm not saying you great because I want you to say that. It's the truth. The world has used your back to raise its stuff up. The Black man and woman has always been the footstep of white world dominance. And look at our condition now. And they want to act like they had nothing to do with it. But Minister Farrakhan take men like Jamil, that man come out the penitentiary. Men like this brother come out the penitentiary, accepting Islam, and come into this city and look at the great work he's doing because of Islam. It is the only fastest growing religion in America, whether you want to accept it or not. Look at the names these young boys call Malik, Kareem. They taking on the names but not understanding the attributes. But that's the beginning. They taking on the names but not understanding the attributes. But we happy when we see Kareem caught the ball. His name may be Kareem Jones. We just got to get rid of that slave last name. But I'm saying it to say what? The scripture says, how can they know unless they be taught? And how can they be taught unless they have a teacher? And how can they have a teacher unless one is sent? We have a teacher today. There's no reason why our young people should be ignorant. Right. Not with all this knowledge.
Access to it.
And access to it. So we hear the strength in Brother DeWaun's hand in Black Lives Matter. Soon as we say Black Lives Matter, then everybody want to say White Lives Matter, all lives matter. I heard the minister say, yeah, all lives do matter. If the Black Lives matter, right. There wouldn't be no all lives if it wasn't for us if the truth be told. Do you hear the word white people, Black people? The minister, he showed us one time, they asked him the question, you might have seen that Mike Wallace show. Man, he told Mike Wallace up when he said that Nigeria is one of the most corrupt nations in the world. Nigeria, Mike Wallace said it would go to them anyway. They asked the minister, he said, well, you know, do you believe the white man's the devil, Farrakhan? And the minister looked at the news report. He said, well, let me put it like this. Y'all have not been saintly to us. If you ain't the devil, then prove it. Because my people have been catching hell under you.
You gotta drop that right there, because you're right.
There ain't nothing but one color. White is the absence of color. Hello. Right. If y'all used to be in school, you had your box of crayons. Remember the bigger box you got, the crayons had all the colors. But there was only one black crayon and one white crayon. White is the absence of all those colors. You can get white out of black, but you can't get black out of white.
That's right.
Every color from green, yellow, orange came from black. It didn't come from white. That's just dealing with crayons. So when somebody say white people, you're talking about a people that's absent of color. They're not only absent of color and pigmentation, but they're absent of color in their mind. They don't see color. They can't see the black man. They can't see the brown man. They can't see the yellow man. They are absent in their mind of color. And this is why you see an integration rising among black people. You notice? A brother always got him a white woman. And, you know what I mean? I ain't mad. I mean,
Like
to each your own, you know.
White folks trying to mingle in with them blacks.
I mean, the Asian, look at it. The Asian woman is getting the white man. I mean, everybody getting color mixed.
Yeah.
The white woman want a colored baby with color.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can get that, you got to get your brother. The white man can't produce it. I'm sorry. You got to get your brother. And let me tell you what the minister said about interracial mixing. Mm-hmm. The minister says love does transcend color. He said, well, don't get love with infatuation. He said, don't become infatuated. Make sure it's love. But this, what we see is infatuation. You keep putting before a hungry man a piece of chicken, you're going to want him with that chicken. Let's not make it. The truth is, we live in an all-white, male-dominant society. Is that the truth? Is that the truth? An all-white, male-dominant society. Mm-hmm. We always have to live, us oppressed people in America, with the attitude of acceptance. Our mindset is always trying to get accepted. But if you live in an all-white, male-dominant society, they make rules for themselves. They make policies to fit themselves. So we're fighting in the voting booth that we would get in and change the rules.
But why would we fight? Because living in a capitalistic country, why don't we fight for economics? You know, when we got money behind it, we own our own structures, we own our neighborhoods, the properties in it, the commercial building, the gas station, the corner stores. Then you got a voice. They got to come see you. But just like with that George Floyd policing that, you know, you demonstrate and protest all day. With the Asian hate bill, they put money behind that.
They put money.
They're passing flying colors. See, we gotta fight them in the best way we know how. Right? We gotta match it. We gotta have our own resources. We gotta have our own economic drivers for our areas that we all benefit from. It doesn't even matter about we got time. We got
Go ahead, DeWaun. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
See the mindset he got? See, that would be called a revolutionary mindset. You know why? Because he understands that you can't even be a politician if you have money behind you. But wait a minute. Here's our fault. We want to talk about our strategy in the public with the press. Mm-hmm. No military commander talk about how he gonna attack another nation in the public. Right. Do you do that? Do you let people know your strategy?
Unless you're giving them propaganda on the
you want to make them think that I like the art of war with Sun Tzu. Make them think you coming by land when you really coming by sea.
Come on now.
I love that. Yeah. It's called the art of deception. Now we about that. Yeah. If we about that. If we want to make when they went after Normandy D-Day, and America had to go in on the shores of Normandy, they sent George Patton in another area to cross. So they knew George Patton was such a heavy general. Mm-hmm. They believed that's where he was going to cross it. Mm-hmm. And George Patton had these rubber tanks, these rubber guns. He gave them the deception that they was going to come in this part of Germany. Mm-hmm. But they was really coming across in Normandy. Mm-hmm. So their attention was focused on George Patton while he was coming. That's called the art of war. So if we're sitting with a strategy, that's what my brother says. There's three things, Brother DeWaun, that we have to do, and I don't know, nobody would disagree with what I'm about ready to say. Okay. We have sat down in my many years and came up with what we call a comprehensive plan. Look at the word comprehensive. Comprehensive means it includes many parts. If I say I want to sell you comprehensive insurance, that's telling your vehicle is covered in every aspect. You got collision, you got liability. That's called a comprehensive plan. Am I right? When we say we got a comprehensive plan, that means our plan have a lot of working components to it. It's 3 phases. Phase number 1, we have to concentrate on building the black family back. That's number 1. That's number 1. We got to listen. That's number 1.
That's right.
That may take us 2 years to even work on that phase. You got to deal with building a black family, the base.
And then learning about the ways of how.
And that's the way you're going to learn.
We're talking about from the slavery days.
There you go.
When they used to put black men right in front of women.
Yeah,
children, right? That's
putting this woman ahead of him.
Yes, putting women.
Giving her Section 8, giving her wealth, and knock him out the box.
Kick him out
the house. Say you can't be in the Section 8. You know your name. You be on that. You take away his power to be the provider of his own family. Dry up the resources in the community so he don't have a job.
The children lose respect for it.
Right.
You become absent. Right?
See, but look at over. It's real stressful. That's a plan now. And you can find it in the Bible. Farrakhan said kill all male babies 2 years and under. Pharaoh said kill all firstborn. I mean, this was a plan. And they still use that playbook today. You got more black men in jail than you got out in the street.
That's right.
That is a plan. Okay. So the family. Now, if family is number 1, because you got to help us implement this.
Okay.
See, this is what the audience love to hear. Give us a good plan.
You see them already, they love it.
And we can preach it. So I want to say this to the listening audience. Phase 1 is the black family. That's what we're going to work on. Now, it may take us a year or 2, but we're not leaving that until we accomplish a good 50 to 60% of that.
Come on.
Phase 2 have to take and lift our black youth up.
Right.
We have to empower our black youth. We have to meet the needs of our black youth.
Right.
We have to do what he said, prepare them for tomorrow's leadership.
Come on now.
We have to teach our black youth a knowledge of themselves. So in phase 2, we have to establish independent institutions where they're taught the knowledge of themselves. So these independent institutions, look what we call these independent institutions. We call them cultural centers. We call them cultural refinement centers. We got to build a center that is dealing with cultural refinement. In these centers, yes, we're not leaning on sports. That should not be the only opportunity for our young people to get out the hood.
That's right.
For being a rapper and entertainment.
Yes, come on, lady. Listen, we so much entertainers. When you take a rapper and he could be a movie star tomorrow, when you got white people to go to school to be actors, they get upset with that.
Yeah, you ain't lying. It do be less.
Hey, man, listen.
We doing really good.
Hey, look at Common. Common ain't went to no acting school.
Yeah.
Look at LL Cool J. He ain't went to no. Look at Jamie Foxx. Look at
Watch Tupac.
everybody, man. Even 50 Cent, old thug.
Yeah.
What does that say to the white
Masterpiece.
Send your kids to acting school, and this dude got a rap record. He's already ahead of you.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that we provide our young people. I'm about giving them jobs, yes, but I'm more about teaching them a skill.
Teach them how to fish.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
When you sit there, I looked at that big old machine that tore down the house. Big old I operate that. My dad taught me heavy equipment when I was a kid. I belong to Operating Engineers 18 out of Ohio. I run everything you see them, all that big stuff. I learned that's what I do. One day, God willing, I'm going to buy that equipment, take it and put it on 25 acres, and I'm going to bring all them young kids out the hood to get on that big machine. It's like a tank. Ooh. So that he's no longer in the ditch with the shovel, no longer is he holding the flag, but he's on that equipment.
General production line.
We got to teach them what power look like. So that's number two, phase two, the investment of our youth on all levels. Now, phase number three is what he talked about. We have to deal with economic independence. Phase three, we got to concentrate on keeping the black dollar in the black community spent among black people. We got to invest in ourselves.
That's right.
You can't tell me black people are broke when last year we spent over $500 million on hot Cheetos. $500 million we spent on hot Cheetos. Black folks.
Wow. We spend over $1 trillion annually.
Do you know how much money we spent on Hennessy? We bought so much Hennessy, we put them out of stock. What the heck was one in the club, Henny? I was drinking a white folks. Have you seen white folks drink Henny? White folks be going through the club and drink a beer and get drunk.
Yeah.
That's deep right there.
We got to go in. Do you know how much?
You should be drinking Uncle Ernest.
Oh yes. Do you know what they call it? Black mile. What they call it? The little
Black and mild.
black and mile. You know how much money we spend on black? See, you can't tell us we broke. And George, you can't tell us we broke. Look at all of the. You want the knockoff Gucci. You want the knockoff. You know you can't afford the real thing. You painting red on the bottom of your shoe. Spray painted with this. I got the red bottom. What are we? See, they appeal.
Don't look at him, though.
But wait a minute. That's the God and the Queen in us. Because we came from a continent where you robbed us of our gold. You robbed us of our diamond. You rob us of our oil. You rob us of our ore. You rob us of our iron. You rob us of all the necessity that this world needs to continue to be a 21st competitive. It's in Africa. So I'm used to diamonds, baby. I'm used to gold, baby. I've never lost that desire to want the best. That's my nature, to want the best. But you take away my opportunity to get it. And those who wind up getting the best, they sell out to get the best.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to have the best again. But this time, we're not going to put a priority over a pocketbook than your children. We're not going to put a priority over a car than your ability to own a home. We're going to put everything in the right perspective.
Yes,
You don't see no Rolls Royce sitting in front of the projects. That's stupid. The bottom line is economic independence is number 3. It's the last phase of guarantee number 2 and guarantee number 1. Now, this is a comprehensive plan that I don't care with color, with religion, with politics, with social. You can buy into that comprehensive plan because that comprehensive plan makes sense. Don't it make sense?
It makes all the sense.
So we have to have a dialogue in phase 1. We got to sit the black man down with the black woman and have an open, honest dialogue. We can't be talking at each other, not to each other.
And I think that's the major part when we talk about our women. We talk about what role they play. And as men, connected to leadership, being the head of the house, right? Doing what's necessary. We need our women to go ahead and respect it. We need our women to push us up and uplift us, right?
But let me say, this is one of the major. I want to say this to our beautiful sister. I ain't a black woman that I know that don't want to see her man in charge. She don't mind you being in charge. The Quran put it in her nature. The Quran called her a helpmeet. She loved to help you meet the aspirations that God gave you.
Right.
Not your own personal aspirations. If you are trying to do what you were born to do as a man, which is a provider, a protector, a nourishment, a sustainer, if you live up to that, I'm with you. Man, if you make sure, listen, I say this, and this is no joke. Being in the nation of Islam, me and my wife don't have a 50-50 relationship. I pay the cost to be the boss. My wife, this the truth. If she was here, my wife don't pay no bills. She don't even go to the mailbox because ain't nothing in her name. I take care of that. But because I take care, and she have her own job, so whatever she do, that's for her to get her nails done and give you a little check, baby. Mm-hmm. She loves that. But what I get in return? See, I don't come home, Brother Rodney, and smell no Lysol or no Clorox. I can smell that bean soup halfway down the street. I can smell that fried chicken. Come on, man.
Come on,
my food is on the table, baby. She don't make no excuses, and I don't make none. When I go to my dressing drawer, all my stuff is clean and packed.
Come on, now. This day you smell Lysol.
Oh yeah, oh it's good.
When you go around to work, though, you don't want to put up.
Yeah, it's good. Wow, I was going.
You want to see, but yeah, yeah, that's real talk.
You got to know when to cut it off. I don't want to come smell no Clorox. I want to smell the bean soup with Clorox. Then I go upstairs. See, I ain't got to play the sniff test because she wasn't my clothes. You know, sniff test, everybody. Not this. Now come on, y'all. Everybody did a sniff test.
Nah, not this.
Oh hell no, not this. But they thinking about a day. I give one more day out of gas because she ain't cleaning your clothes. No, man. I pull my drawer and fold it all neat. My church, that's my point. I do my job, she does hers. Do you know what I'm saying, sisters? This ain't I ain't trying to tell her, listen, let me say what the minister said these words. The minister said this. The home is the woman's base, but not necessarily her place. Oh man, I got to say that again. The home is the woman's place, but not necessarily your place. Our women are rising up, and no real man should be intimidated by that. No real man should be intimidated by our women rising up. If you're intimidated, then you need to check your man. I love, and because we are not stepping up to the plate, then you got our women can't find a good man. So now she either turned it to the other fella or they turn it into one another.
Thank you.
It's real talk. Don't get offended with me, family. Because y'all find more in common than we would find in common because we got our head twisted backwards.
So you touching on that family. Keep touching on that.
See, we have allowed society to define what a man is. So how do I know? In them barbershop talk, we're going to hit this tomorrow. I want to ask the brothers, what do you think the definition of a man is? And if you can't give me a definition of what a man is, then remember these words. All males are not men, but all men are males. Mm-hmm. Because you're a male don't mean you're a man. See, a man requires a qualification to be sitting at the big table with me. You can't say, man, I'm a man, and you at home 40 years old in the basement of your mama. Mm-hmm. The only damn thing you providing for is a pit bull.
This bull got to eat too.
But now you want to sit at the table with me.
No, go out there with that pit bull.
You want to sit at the table with Captain D and say, I'm a man. I'm sorry, partner. Go sit at the little boy. You got to qualify to sit at this table with me. Yeah, go sit over there with the paper plates in the red cup there. You come to my home. Listen, you come to my home. This is the truth. My wife will tell you. I've been rolling with the leader. We don't serve you on no paper plates in my home. Even if we having an event. The minister teaches us, treat the black man like you treat God. Make him understand that, man, I done had a lot of arguments break up when the brother leave with this woman when he leave my house. See how Captain Dennis wife take care of baby. That's why. But then you be like Captain Dennis, nigga, the rent ain't high, and nigga, you ain't paid the damn water bill, and the electric. Now when you can get like that, then I won't feed you on no paper plate because you ain't washing no dishes because the dishwasher been broken for about a week. Do you feel what I'm saying, family? This is the truth. But we love our women.
The ladies going crazy.
And you deserve protection from us. And man, we would crawl over 10 miles of broken glass.
It's mandated. We need it in our household. That's where we got to start.
Take care of them children too.
But let me say this. I'm getting ready to get to this part now because I done beat us down. I done beat us down. I did a good job letting y'all know I ain't just anti. But let me tell you something. Black woman.
That was positive reinforcement.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Black woman, if it was not for you, we wouldn't have got through slavery.
Did I say that?
You was the one that had to tell us not to look at us in the eyes.
That's right.
You were the one that told us say yes or no, sir. Even though our nature and our militant propensity was natural in us to rise up again. You told the boy, don't you get up, man. When that white man told you, drop your eyes. Boy, drop your eyes, boy. Say yes or no, sir. And when they talking about freedom, you stay away from that. Because you got us through slavery. But the problem, black woman, you didn't turn that switch off. Because you're doing that today again. The white man pull you over now. Say yes or no, sir. And you keep your hand on this steering wheel, boy. Don't you rise up to the master. Yes, ma'am. See?
That's true.
When that young man showed him in Baltimore when the police was beating the brother and he went to the aid of the brother, his mama snatched him and made him apologize. And when she did, she took away of his desire to fight for freedom. You killed that spirit in that young man because he was doing the right thing. He's not born to accept injustice. Don't make us lay down with injustice.
Come on.
Because you're afraid that we're going to die in the process. Everybody died in the liberation. There's no such thing as the bloodless liberation. Give us a chance. We died in a war for nothing. You don't mind sending them off the war? So go join the military. They went to Iraq, come back, it was killed. They went to Afghanistan, come back and be killed. They went to everywhere we went and we bled our blood. They only come back for what? We died there. So why when we die fighting for our liberation here? What's wrong with that? So you black women have to support them youngest coming up. Tell them this is your time. And if you feel you got to fight for it, just stand on what you believe, son. Call on God. And you have to help be that mother to nurse us to be men like your mothers today. You got the power. See, I heard the minister say these words. I thank my wife for helping me to be the man that I am. My wife is helping me to be, listen, my wife coached me. Don't think I give what I give, but she plays a role in helping me to get where I'm at. She don't knock my ideas. If she got something she want to say, and let me tell you something, how good you women are. See, y'all could beat the enemy before. We'll bring the enemy home, don't even know we brought the enemy home. And what would you say? I don't like him. You say, baby, you don't never like none of my friends. And when they turn on us, you wanted to say, I told you so. God gave you that 6 cents. You know why he gave the woman 6 cents? We got 5 brothers. He gave her 6. And the reason why God gave the black woman 6 cents or the woman 6 cents is because she has to be able to see harm and danger come because she have a child. So God gave her the ability to see it before it comes because of the protection of being a mother. So you're able to see what we can't see. And let me tell you something. The day the black woman, she has now be able to see early in the game that the dude she talked to ain't the guy for, but she had tolerated. And she have turned so many down because she people. Now it's like having a smoke detector. You're tired of the beeping, so you take the battery out of it. So you take the battery out yourself and you just accept it because you're tired of being lonely.
Right.
But what are you bringing home? You're bringing home a man that you just met coming out the penitentiary, but you got your little 16-year-old daughter that he ain't looking at you. Man, little fine thing. Come here and hug your stepdaddy. Come here. Come on, Cal. Then the next thing you know, you come home and he's sleeping with your daughter. But she trying to tell you, Mom, when you leave, I got to run all around the house. But you ain't listening. You ain't listening. You got your little boys. You bringing men you met. Just come out the penitentiary. He ain't looking at your daughter. He looking at your little son. Honey, I got to go to work. Can you watch little Junior till I come in? Yes. You bring him in the door today. Because you're not letting that sixth sense tell you what you're doing. You took the battery out, sisters.
That's right.
And you're sleeping with him.
I like that.
Now, we got to help you to vet what you bringing home. You can't find love in the club.
That's right.
That's right.
And brother, you can't find love in the strip club. You have to be beware. You have to beware of that big booty in the smile.
That'll mess you up, man.
Oh, that big booty smile get you every time, baby.
Together.
And everything. You know what they have reduced our women down to? Boobs and butts. You ain't got no problem shaking it on social media.
No brains.
Oh no, we don't care what's. See, we don't care what's in the mind. We care about the behind.
Yeah,
So we got a lot of conversations. Oh yeah, it's just. I mean, let me tell you. You know what they tell the men back in the day when they were with the booties of war, with the spoils of war? What they call it, the booty. They may not be able to give them the gold, but they told me, look here. The benefit is you can take the women. That's called the booty.
Yeah.
So men will go into war and get the spoils because the prize was the women.
Yeah. You get the woman, you can have her.
Because you get the woman, you bring in your own nation.
That's right.
You get the woman, you bring in your own idea. You conquer the nation when you take the woman. This is the strategy that's always there. You take the woman. So I come home and you've been on social media all day long. You've been watching as the world turn. You've been looking at all that madness. And then when I say something to you, come out from where you get that from. See, that's why you look at the word husbandman. We call the man husband. The word husband comes from the root word husbandman. It's in the Bible. So you say, that's my husband. It comes from the root word husbandman. What is a husbandman? The word husbandman means keeper of the garden, one who toils the soil. So your mind is the garden. And we plant in your mind that benefits us. So we call it a husband. So we ain't toiling the soil. If we're not keepers of the garden, then I come home, I know I plant tomatoes, but I see potatoes. And I ain't putting no potatoes. Where the potatoes come from? I look next door, my man's a potato farm. Somebody been planting my garden. And it sometimes means idea. Whose ideas, sisters, are y'all expressing? You're not expressing my idea. You're expressing what I see on TikTok. You allowed TikTok get in your mind. And now we're at odds in the home. And it left you, and this is all you doing all day. And you falling for the madness that every woman that got money is happy with these dudes that got money.
Or everybody who want to look all beautified on social media.
Man, them
really,
dudes,
really beautiful on the inside.
and I'm telling
That's
you,
the exterior issue.
Listen, if I'm in the house in the real estate business, I don't just want to see what's on the outside. We buy the house, don't even ever go on the inside. Oh, I like this dude. Why they, baby?
You gotta see what them bones look like. That
I want to
structure.
go on the inside and become acquainted with the owner on the inside.
With that foundation.
With the foundation.
Right.
So, brother, I know I done took up a lot of time. I know you may have some other guests.
No, you own things more or less. Man, I just want to also reference Professor Online. They've been checking it out. They agree with everything you've been saying, and I think this is refreshing. So
beautiful.
You online, you run. This is we listening right now. We also man adding insight and support, but this is a well-rounded conversation, and we need it. We need to have more of these on a regular basis.
Man, you know what, brother? That is the truth. I think we need to come together, and sometimes without this. And let's just take off the gloves and get down to the real nitty-gritty. But don't see, because we don't want to ever let anybody in the world see us disagree, because we will have disagreement.
Of course.
And the enemy likes to come in between the disagreement. And what do you think? What he said? I heard what he said. I said, "Drop that love." That's the enemy. We can disagree, but don't become disagreeable. We're human beings, man. We ain't gonna agree on everything. Man, every one of you, God made every one of you. Listen, if there's no two snowflakes alike, and if you ever see a buffalo winter, and I'm from Buffalo, and you take and put your finger out there, and you see a flake fall on your finger, there's not another flake like it. And when that flake melts, that's the end. This is how brilliant God is. That's why every one of you have fingerprints, and there's not a fingerprint like your fingerprint. That what I'm saying to you, every one of us is unique. And when you leave here, that's the end. There will never be another human being like you on this planet. Because you was born in a certain time, in a certain era, in a certain place. And nobody can occupy the same space at the same time. Nobody can sit in that seat while you sitting there. Okay. Until you see who you are and what you are, you can never be no value to yourself or to your family. But stop playing yourself cheap. And that's why when we talk to each other, we have to talk to each other with respect. I respect you because I see God in you, man.
Yes, sir.
And when I see you, I see myself.
Yes, sir.
When you're looking at a black man, you're looking at God. That's the closest thing we ever know what God is. I know what condition we're in, but we was made that way. White people didn't come over to Africa and take 4 million, 32 million, 40 million Negroes, pimps, players, and hoes. That's what he was. He robbed Africa of the best. Let me say this to my African brothers and sisters. Yes, you did have a role in selling us here, and you got a role that you got to play in the reparation of us. We're not going to leave you, Africa, out of your role. We call for white folks' reparation. We call it for your reparation. You can't deny where we come from. You got to go to work to give us what every other people have, dual citizenship. Every Jew got dual citizenship to Israel.
Yeah, right.
Where's our dual citizenship? Where's our dual citizenship to Nigeria? Where's our dual citizenship to Ghana? Where's our dual citizenship to Gambia? Where's our dual citizenship to Senegal? We came from the West Coast of Africa. We know where we came from. We never gave up our citizenship.
Right. Ghana is trying to make a way, man.
And I love Ghana. The minister had worked on Ghana. We got an outpost in Ghana. The minister got dual citizenship, dual passports in several countries. They gave him dual citizenship. So if the minister want to live here in America, he can go anywhere where he got dual citizenship and be a citizen. But we never cried for dual citizenship. But every one of us is qualified for it. But our brothers and sisters that come from the diaspora, they don't associate with us, those from Nigeria. They don't associate with us. They look at themselves different. I'm getting a haircut one time. I hear a brother in the other chair, and I hear his accent. I said, brother, where are you from? Brother's cutting my hair. Brother cutting the place back. I'm from Africa. I said, hell, brother, I know that. All of us in here from Africa. Where you think we from Switzerland? You see what I'm saying? I'm from Africa. Nigga, we from Africa too.
They do be here.
What part, partner? See? But you begin to see there's a lot of y'all getting shot and killed by the police because they don't give a doggone where you from. You black to them. You could be from Harlem or you could be from that. They don't care. There's no special arrangements you got because you from Nigeria. But the bottom I said, we can't let them divide us from our family, from the so we got to work there.
Yeah, we do.
They got supermarkets, but we don't patronize them. But if I ask you, do y'all have a black supermodel? No, we don't got a black super. I said, do the Nigerians got? Yeah, they got. Oh, they ain't black. See? Oh, they ain't black.
The Somalians got the gas station. Some of the Somalians got gas stations.
See, but we not building no relationship and letting them know. Listen, man. You know, we went to eat at the Baddest West, right? And we ordered some lamb chops. And I asked the man, do you have any A1 sauce, steak sauce to go with the lamb chop?
Yeah.
Now, this is Middle Eastern cuisine. We don't use a lot of spice. I said, but I'm looking at the ketchup. That's America. You brought me some some Franks. That's America. See, if 60% of your business is us, ain't you supposed to cater to what we want? I like your Middle Eastern cuisine, but put an American flag on it. So if everybody keep it like that, you got to start catering to your customers, especially if we 80% of your business. If you don't need our business, I can understand it. But adapt your business to fit us now.
Mm-hmm.
We the ones who's making your business, Chinese man.
Mm-hmm. And then get back to those areas.
Oh, you got to get back to them. You got to help. Listen, you can't come in our neighborhood. And everywhere I look, y'all got liquor stores all throughout Flint, Michigan. Yeah. Who owned the liquor store? Talk to me. Show me. Is that black man own the liquor store?
Indians, the Arabics.
Do you hear me?
They all live in Dearborn, Michigan.
Who's back there working? Us?
Mm-hmm. With no stake in the shop.
None. If you don't even hardly see us. Mm-hmm. They won't let us on the cash register. That's a doggone show.
Most of the time under the table, too.
Yeah, but y'all tolerate that.
Yeah, right.
Y'all got more liquor stores than you got black businesses. But y'all tolerate that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you absolutely right.
Y'all tolerate how you treat it. You accept disrespect. Mm-hmm. When are you going to stop that, man?
And then a lot of them is taking your change. They're not even giving you change.
They treat you.
They keep your pennies, man.
They treat you like a boy.
Add up, though.
Add it up.
I give it to
the convenience stores. They taking our little women and taking our girls in the back because they getting their stuff on consignment, on credit. Mm-hmm. Oh, Abdullah, you're so funny. You know I'm going to pay you back, man. But come on back in the back. Mm-hmm. You can pay me now. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you what's going on around the country. They making moves. They treating us like the way we allow them to treat us. The minister said these words, and I'm going to close. He said, this world society treat us like dust. He said, dust is particles of something that was once whole. How do you treat dust? Dust has no power to resist. Am I right?
That's right.
When you come in the house, you see dust, do you keep it? Oh, I like dust. But the minister said, look what the Quran says, Brother Jill. What did God make his man out of?
Dust.
Come on now.
Dust. Fashioning from dust.
God took that dust and made his man. But tell me how it go. He fashioned his man. He made his man out of dust and fashioned it.
Yep. Then he fashioned him into a lump of clay. Then he breathed into him some of his spirit, and he became a living.
Come on. So no matter how the world sees us as dust, God made his man of dust. He made his man of the residue of this world. I don't care how you treat us, folk. But God is going to take this dust that you see as nothing. He's going to gather it up, put a little water on it, fasten it in clay and form it. Then he's going to blow his spirit in that dust. Wow. The bones in the valley was disconnected. And God told his man, blow in on those bones. And they rose up an exceedingly great army. So even though it looks bad, brother, even though it looks bad, oh, I know it looks bad, black folks, but know this, God has come for us. But he ain't going to take you back as a nigga, because that's a product of white people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Niggas would not be able to get on that ark. He didn't say gather 2 niggas and 2 Uncle Toms and 2 Uncle Tom Arenas.
2 Sambos.
Or 2 Sambos, 2 Coons.
Right.
See? God is calling us home, but we have to change our behavior. Stop being liars and thieves and robbers and haters of your own self. Stop being children molesters, women abusers. We got to stop killing each other. God is not taking that behavior. This is the first time that God sent a tornado that wiped out a black town, and that was our sign. Said, well, His grace is over with us.
Down in Mississippi. Tow it up.
Rolling Fort Mississippi.
Stayed on the ground for 40 miles, I think they said.
The town is only 1 mile wide. He said the tornado was 1.5 miles.
Stayed on the ground for 40 miles.
Do you hear me? Rolling Fort Mississippi. That tornado came in the night. 97% black people. Took it out. Nothing was left standing.
How big is the town?
The town is 1 mile wide. It's a small town.
Right, okay.
But the tornado was 1.5 miles.
Wow.
I seen the footage of the damage. It was unbelievable.
It came into, when have you ever heard a tornado go on to Little Rock, Arkansas? How many family members you got from Little Rock? See, Allah is no longer showing favor to us because of our color. He will show favor to us because of our righteousness now.
Come on.
He have had a man in our midst 67 years, Elijah teaching for 93 years, and we ain't heard that yet. Let the forces get them, and I'll whoop that cold wind on those bones. Dry wind mean hardship. Let the white man loose. They're killing us and finding us hung. They dismembered a brother in Tennessee, found his body in Louisiana. Dismembered, hanging is taking place. Women, they showing a man right now, he's doing body training. He's training our women, but then he's posting killing dismembered black people. Hang on. These are the things that's going on.
Talking about the football coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check your news. They telling you we killing you, niggas.
Training.
He letting the white man loose on it. He letting the talk. He's trying to get it. So the scripture said, it's my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and seek me and turn from your wicked ways. Huh? God is not going to accept us in this condition. Get your life right, black people. He's building the kingdom of God right here on earth, and he ain't using nothing of the white man's world to do it. If you want to be called a white man, nigga, then stay over there. But if you want to live righteousness and peace, then come and get with God. That's why we, the Peacekeepers, have on the front of our thing, I am present for peace. The word I am is God. Do you know what I am means? When Moses went to Pharaoh, he says, well, Lord, God, who should I tell sent me? Look what God said. Tell him I am that I am. So anytime you see the word I am, that's God. So on our shirt it says, God is present for peace in me. I'm not present for no madness. I'm not present for disunity. I'm not present for controversy. Hey, my brother, I'm present for peace. And let's come together for that 1 hour power. This Saturday that's coming up. This Saturday that's coming up. We coming for the 1 hour power. Put aside your differences. Be with us. And if you show up, Flint, Michigan, we're going to give you a shirt.
Speak on that location.
Saturday from 1 to 2 on the corner of Ballard and Flushing in the Save-A-Lot parking lot.
All right? And listen, family, I'm going to be there. Give you a shirt, hang with it 1 hour. We want to show unity for 1 hour at least. And you know what Jesus said when he found the disciples sleep? Remember the part he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Christians?
Yeah.
And Jesus said to his disciples when he found them asleep, he said, you could not hang with me for 1 hour?
1 hour.
Hey, go, man. I'm saying let's hang together for 1 hour. Let's put aside our religious differences, all right? Let's put aside our political differences. Let's put aside our spot. I was in a meeting the other day, and he said, where you from? I said, Columbus, Ohio. Buckeye. Man, they got so hostile in the room. I said, look, I'm going to put this peace thing to test right now. One brother said, well, we still work in progress, Cap. You come up here with all. I said, but look at you, got to understand, I'm in therapy right now for that last butt whooping you put on. So you. But even that divides us. So we saying put aside your social differences. And look here, wait a minute. Put aside your gender differences. Put aside, hey, your racial differences. We're going to have white people out there with us. Hispanic people. And peace ain't got no color. We're talking about the universality of the human being. And for 1 hour, you're going to hear them horns. Peace, yeah, we're going to be handing these out. And you're going to feel good to know for 1 hour, I did something. How you feel when you be out there? Don't that make you feel good? Ain't that a feeling, boy? Because you know for 1 hour, I put some work in. Some positive work. Now I can have the fool after 61 minutes. You can go back being a fool in 61 minutes. I don't care what you do 61. Just give me 60. I know it normally do. But the bottom line, join us this Saturday. I am sorry I had back surgery. I'm still not healed. They're talking about doing a second surgery, but I'm calling the devil a liar. I'm going to let God do what he do because I'm not going to stop. I remember when the minister had his 14-hour surgery. He was in that hospital, man. They had took all the minister's lower extremities because of that radiation, burned him up. And when we went to get the minister, he was in the hospital for several weeks. I'm standing. Here's the wheelchair. I'm standing right here. We got to take the minister. He has his bus out there. We're going to take him back to Chicago. And all of the nurses was lined up to say goodbye to the minister. And as his security was around him, they was looking at us and said, you take care of this man. That's what they was telling us. You take care of this man. He's a special man from God. That's what the nurses and doctors said, yes, ma'am. The minister had a hat on with the, snap. And he had it all the way to the last where it was budget. And he had lost so much weight. Now I'm looking at the minister from the corner of my eye. And I said to myself, I've never seen him so vulnerable. This was my rock. I had walked him in many thousands of millions of arenas. And the minister had his head down and I heard these words. He said, I promise Allah, I will work hard in your name. And the thought that came to my mind, what kind of man is this? He comes off of death's door. He ain't talking about going home to chill out.
Right.
He's saying, I'm going to work harder.
Right.
And I know now why I was blessed to hear that. He said it on his breath. He didn't say it where everybody had. It was a prayer. Because that's what I'm saying right now. Allah, you heal me. I promise you. I'm going to work hard in your name. I'm going to go hard on the paint until you take me out the game. I'm not going to use my shortcomings and my health as any reason. If I got to die, let me die on my post. That's why God blessed me to hear that. He may look weak to me, but he was strong in that moment. So the Bible talk about in my weakness, God finds his strength. I love that man. And I try my best to say nothing to displease him. I watch my language, I watch what I say, not because I fear any man. I fear my brother, censure me for saying something that don't represent him. That's all I can do, man. So I'm very honored to be on your show. If I said anything to offend anyone, charge it to my mind, but not my heart. I love you, black people. I love you, Mr. Mayor. I love you, Eric Mays. I love you. I love you, black people. Don't take anything that Brother Dennis said as an insult to you as an individual and your character. You have shown me love every time I come to your city, and I thank you for that. But I'm your brother.
Mhm.
We got to do better. That's all I'm saying. And I'll be glad to meet anytime I come, that we could work together to get there. But you cannot exclude my brother, who may be critical of certain aspects of your politics, not as your personal. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
Don't get it twisted.
No, that's true.
He has a right to criticize you on aspect of your political agenda and your politics. He's bigger than personal. He's bigger than personal.
Mm-hmm.
He don't fight personal.
Right.
But if you want to get in the room of personal, he will go there too, if that's what you want to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that ain't what he's about.
Yes, sir.
Bring my brother to the table. And don't become intimidated by his mind, because I stand with him. I would let no harm come to this brother, nor would I let any harm come to Eric Mays or to the mayor. That's because I'm a brother.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think everybody's your friend? We're the friends of each other.
That's right.
Keep an eye on my brother. I don't care what you think about him. He's a rising star. And I'm happy to know it. I want to say that thank you, Brother DeWaun, for giving me such a great opportunity. I hope. Did I say anything to offend anybody?
Well, everything you said
No,
was
sir.
fine.
Will they be mad at me when I leave? I ain't got a crowd out there. Throw rocks
No,
at me.
sir. No, sir.
We're going to protect you.
We got you back in
I
here.
love you, Flint. I mean this from my heart. I'm glad that you would accept me as your brother. Do I have dual citizenship here?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
I got to come and get my visa. You know, I got to get my ghetto card stamped every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I got to come and get it stamped to know I'm in good standards. We all need our ghetto card stamped every now and then. Thank you, family. May God bless you. Any questions they may ask that I answered on the media? Has anybody asked anything?
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of them. I've been meaning to.
You let me flow. You let me flow.
Who do you think gonna be the next president?
Well, Satan or Lucifer, huh?
Okay.
Good answer. Family Feud. Good answer.
Yeah, that's all about right.
You ain't black.
Either way, you in hell.
You black. If you're not black, you don't vote for it.
Yeah, see, either way, you in hell.
Yeah, no,
You know, the bottom line is we didn't get a whole lot under black leadership. He did good. I'm not mad at Obama. But he was not elected, he was selected. So we need to be very clear. You know, so whoever the next person is, you stepping into a declining country. So I feel sorry who want to be the next president, because she's gone. She's over with. As Donald Trump, the minister said, Donald Trump had taken America to hell in a rocket ship, and he ain't through.
No, he's far from through.
He said, if I go down, you go down. He said that.
And he meant it.
Did he say that?
He did. He sure did.
And he's right. The minister said you would take him down. So I would not look for who would be the next. I would look for God.
Come on, God. Come on,
Who the God want? He ain't gonna pick nothing out of Pharaoh's house. God never picks a leader out of Pharaoh's house.
Real talk.
Look for the leader that you see that's talking God. You ain't gonna get it out the White House, but you will see it rise up among us.
Yes, sir.
I look at that brilliant brother the other day at Tennessee. I said, oh, he got potential.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I
I
couldn't
was
stop.
cool when he said start preaching. I shot it. I said, oh, dang on it, brother. But he got potential.
Yeah, I couldn't stop watching.
He
looked
was
on, I'm like,
captivating.
okay. Yeah, all right.
I said, okay.
With the J5.
Yeah, with God, listen. If him and Tamika join, and we start getting, see if we could get past, how white folks separate us, and then meet with the man. Are you afraid? to meet with a man that can give you guidance.
Come on.
I don't care nothing about. But if the minister's presence would stop you from being who you want to be, then that's on you. But black people love when they say you met with the minister. Oh, it's the kiss of death too now. But today, don't look for them. Here we are. We got homegrown leadership rising up. Invest in them. And we don't need no president to change our reality.
Come on now.
We change our own daggone reality.
Right.
Ain't nothing the president can do to tell us to protect our women. We don't need a mandate from the White House. Me and Brother Jalil, we could call 500 men right here in Flint and change the fate of protection for the black community. I'm telling you what I know. We're going to patrol our own communities.
Come on.
And the police department ain't got nothing to do with it. They can't stop crime and violence in our community. That's the truth.
Right.
It ain't till we step up and stop depending on them that you see them orange shirts in a certain neighborhood. Oh, the sister can feel safe because ain't nothing going to happen under our watch. And we working with the Flint Police Department. They respect what we do. So if we working with them, they working with us. It's a win-win situation. You stay on the outside, we got the inside.
Come on now.
And when we can't deal with them, we're going to throw them on the outside. Now, you deal with the way you want to deal with. We tried our damn best to work with this fool.
I know that.
Open up the door. Throw him out. All right, Chief, you got him, baby.
It's your world now.
He's yours now. He's incorrigible.
Go outside.
The bottom line is desperate time and black lives do matter.
Absolutely.
Because God says it matters. Thank you so much. I love you. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Let's run the room real quick, and you know, because there was a lot of information shared, a lot of different points and things that Captain Dennis has, you know, elaborated on. He did a phenomenal job. I'm just all taking it in, kind of just thinking about just strategy. When you talk about that comprehensive plan and those 3 steps, you know, when we talk about planning, because we need to be planning now more than ever.
That's right.
Like, you know, yeah, we got elected leadership, but what we gonna do today, right? In our position, in our capacity. It's not about just doing them, right? It's not about waiting on nobody to do nothing for us.
Come on.
What is our plan, or what is our next steps? We should be thinking about that, but having these constructive conversations on a regular basis with action.
The first thing we got to do is what Captain Dennis said. We as individuals have to become righteous. We can't keep dealing with liars, disloyal people, slanderers, gossipers, warmongers, haters. All these different people exemplify characteristics that can't be in the kingdom. So why is we letting them be around us if we trying to get in the kingdom? If we trying to establish the kingdom, then we can't allow them in. What we can do is have mercy and say we need you to put an effort towards overcoming those impediments that you have, and you can come back in. But until then, we got to leave you out because we busy trying to build the kingdom, which is making something for ourselves, doing for ourselves, having our own, and not depending on our enemy to do nothing for us.
Right.
So that's what I think the first step is. The second step is sitting down and brainstorming with those who want to take what we brainstorm with to immediate action. We can't talk and wait 2 months, 2 years, and we still have meetings talking about it. If we sit down on Friday, that Monday, everybody should be out trying to make what we talk about happen. And then the only time we come back together to meet is to talk about how what we took out to do, how did it go? How did it go? What happened? What's the report? And then see if we can build on it and make it better and go back out and work.
It was good. Throw away, keep what was good and throw away what was bad.
Right. We have a whole lot of meetings, but not that much action.
Tell me, you Captain, I don't like to use the word unity. Tell me what you said.
Yeah, I said, so in this, especially in the city of Flint, unity is a bad word. So I don't use the word unity no more. I use collaboration. Believe it or not, people that wouldn't come help you do something if you said let's unite will come help you when you say let's collaborate. You know why? Because unity make people think they're giving up something to buy into what you call them to.
That's right.
But collaboration make them feel like they can be themselves and add on to what you are.
And I looked at when you said that. That's why I love it. Unity does implies joining something.
Yeah.
But collaboration means working together.
Yeah.
So I said I like collaboration because he could be Black Lives Matter, stay Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
But he comes to working together as a collaborator. And being unity, you think, well, he's going to become a peace. See, and because unity has become a buzzword that has no substance no more, we wore it out. So now I like the word collaborate. Now the minister did it under the LOCs, local organizing committees. So when he did after the Million Mall movement, the minister understood no one organization got the solution. This body is made up of many organs, and everyone plays a role. You can't tell the kidney is more important than the liver.
Right.
Every one of them is equal.
And we'll shut you down.
And quick.
Right.
But the bottom line is, so when we say you come together at the table of, here's the beautiful thing. Organizations is like United Nations. DeWaun is a head of state. The Peacekeepers, when you sit at today, you're head of state. The nation is head of state. All the other organizations, that means you come as equal partners. So you come, I don't care how small. See, Gambia is a small country, but it sits at the United Nations, and they just as important as Nigeria. They're equal partners. So no matter how small your organization is, you're still an equal partner. Your organization may be 3 years old, but it's an organization. You come to the table, and you're head of state, and you will be respected as such. That's how we have to see each other. Heads of state. He's the head of state over this organization. He's the head of state. He's a head. So when he comes to, ain't no, they bigger because you just came in, you 5 years, 10 years. When we start becoming collaborators, we become equal partners. Yes, sir.
But DeWaun said something earlier I caught that I've been saying. Whatever we do, we should be doing not even for the next generation, but for the next generations. Establishing generational wealth and long-term sustenance where they don't have to start over and fight the same fight we fought. Because that looked crazy to me. You had this era of people who worked in GM, got all that money, got these cars, nice houses, some of them moved Grand Blanc, Swartz Creek, Davidson, but let their children start back over in the hood, in the ghetto, suffering with nothing. And I'm looking and saying, look, white people don't do that. They don't care how you feel. If they work hard, they said, you ain't got to work. I did it for you. Here you go. Some of them may not even be worthy to take what they give, but they still do it. We got the mentality, I had to get it, you got to go get it.
Right.
You got to run and come up out the mud like I came up out the mud. I said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
There's a book called,
We keep starting over.
called Jewish Phenomenon by Steven Spielberg. This dude says that one of the things that Jewish people practice is that they begin to recognize delayed gratification. He said a Jewish mother and a Jewish father with delayed gratification, delay having something in this world or enjoying the substance of this world, they delayed it so that the children can enjoy it. We don't know how to practice delayed gratification. I'm getting it now. I'm going to get all my, see, and this is what I like what you said. Being able, how many young ones that he have coming up on there. Do you know how many young guys is under Captain D? Because I can't be here all the time. I got to get them focused. Right. I got to get to cut them young Turks loose. Yeah. Don't be afraid, man, to give them the mic. Right. Yeah, then nobody give you the mic. You know, you took the damn mic. Yeah, right. And he had to get better with the mic. But give them that opportunity. We gonna make mistakes. If you human beings, the minister told me, I was saying to the minister, I said, Brother Minister, I'm sorry. At one of your commanders, I made many mistakes. He said it like that. Hush up, brother. He said, you're gonna always make mistakes. And then he said, just make some new ones. And I busted out laughing. He busted out laughing. That's exactly what he said. Just make some new ones. So I'm saying
that's like too what you were saying, Jay. Like I remember my grandfather would tell me, man, I'm living vicariously through you. They fought for civil rights back in the day. It's like the same stuff going on today. It's like we ain't moved the needle further at all. I said, well, if I had to say that for my children, then that's terrible. Because we shouldn't be in a place where we don't have generational wealth. Like you was talking about, you know, when we was able to work, come from the South, come up north, take advantage of the opportunity to create generational wealth, own property, have a good paying job. They did that. Like my grandfather said, he moved back to Mississippi, bought land, and they doing well. But the thing is, every generation should be a lot farther than the last.
Right.
We got to set it up that way. And I do understand, like, you know, getting out the mud, because my son, I don't want him to feel entitled in the mindset.
Yeah, you got to teach him
to work for this stuff.
That's right.
But I got it already put it aside for you.
Right.
But I want you to be in the mindset that you got to put in the work and you got to take it much farther than this.
But here's a little thing black parents can do just to get it started without even putting a lot of effort in it. Instead on their birthday buying them $300 Jordan, PlayStation 5 and all that, go buy them some land. Go buy them a house. Give them some real estate.
Spend $1,000 on a birthday party.
Right. Instead of doing all that, go get them a house. And then help them learn to know how to till the land and how to manage the rental property. So you teaching them business and how to build with it. Yeah, do those type of things. And watch and see. Some of them may grab hold to it and evolve, and some of them may not. But the thing is, you set them up for generational wealth to pass something down. When we die, all we pass down is debt. And we do GoFundMes for to pay for the funeral.
Let me say this. You know, here's the beautiful thing about this beautiful, wonderful conversation. I want to say that when we wrote Eyes of Demolition, that thought came to mind. I was really upset. Because I want our black politicians to know we believe in you and we put you in that office to represent us. Our agenda, not your agenda.
Right. Our agenda.
You are to go and do our bidding.
That part.
You cut loose city money, federal money, Auburn money. Have stipulations attached to it where we could see our youth can benefit from it.
Right.
If you need them to be trained, we would give them job training and job skills. This man have a construction company. We're going to take our young people and learn them how the trades of plummetry, carpentry. We need to teach them that. We're willing to do that. I want to say to the great men and women in law enforcement, I have a great respect for law enforcement. I have so much respect for law. I've been in it 35 years. There are some great men and women who trying to change the quality of life. Here's the sad part about men and women in law enforcement. They see the worst of human behavior. You're putting them into an environment to be social workers, and that's not what they've been hired to do. Crime and violence is a direct result of unmet social needs. They can't change the social, they're not social workers. Social needs mean we as a people have have to address our social problems. They didn't create the problem. So don't look for law enforcement to change it. You have to see crime and violence is not in every community. Go in New York, ain't no crime and violence in the Jewish community. When have you heard of drive-by in Asian town, in Chinatown? Go into the Irish name, in the Italian community. There ain't no crime and violence in the Italian community. Where they got crime, but it's organized crime. We ain't even got organized crime. Our crime ain't even organized.
Cowboy crime.
But listen, so when you say crime, don't say that. Don't say that. It's not everywhere. It's everywhere where the people's social needs are not met.
That's right.
It's where you see high unemployment. That's where it's at. When you see lack of fathers in homes, that's where it's at. When you see poor quality education, that's where it's at. When you see no jobs and job losses, that's where it's at. When you see more guns and depression and drugs and violence and homelessness and domestic, that's where crime and violence is at. You solve those problems, you don't even need the police.
And it's also where people hope and put their life on politicians change their condition. Because every town you mentioned, do you see politicians going to the Arab community trying to get a vote?
No.
Do you see them go to the Asian community? Do you see them go to Chinatown?
No,
If you watch TV, have you ever seen any of them big Koreatown? You ever seen any of them? They go out and try to solicit them. You know why? Because none of them care. They like, we take care of ourselves. We do our own thing. And we don't need y'all for nothing. Whatever y'all do that helps us is a vote.
Dearborn's a great example, right? Dearborn, Michigan.
They don't look.
Grosse Point.
But the thing is this here. They don't mess with them like they mess with us. We tried to establish an African town in Detroit. Go see. Let me put y'all on quick history. Quick history lesson. Let's read it. You can go look it up. So in Detroit, they tried to establish an African town. The white folks said, "Why you want an African town? We ain't got no white town. Yeah, you should. Every town you go in is white." So guess what they did? They changed what would have been African town to East Point, Detroit. Go look it up. East Point, Detroit was supposed to be an African town. East Point, Detroit was part of the east side of Detroit back in the day. It's all fact. You go look it up. So
say that again, brother.
African town was supposed to have been. It was supposed to have been an African town. They fought against it. It ended up being what you know right now. If you go down to East Point, Detroit, Michigan. East Point, Detroit, Michigan, at one time was part of the east side of Detroit.
That's what I was about to say. That's east side.
Yeah,
Right. And that portion that was broke off, called East Point, was supposed to have been African town.
But then they go over to Grosse Point, the big houses, right?
Which
You
is-
jump
yeah.
over,
Which
Dennis,
is
you
more
jump
than-
over from
Right. So they didn't want an African town,
beautiful houses.
so they called it East
How
Point.
you treated in Grosse Point? How do they treat you in Grosse Point? I know about that.
Yeah.
See, Grosse Point is like every suburb. They watch you come in and they watch you leave.
So he
You
right.
act a certain way. You act a certain way when you're in that neighborhood. You don't care how you treat your own guy. You got the music turned up, weed blowing, lights play upside down. You know, I mean, so the reason why I said that about law enforcement, because the relationship they have, Chief Green, who designed to get his officers trained, is admirable. Roof in Saginaw, they did it. Now there's a whole lot, but we're not training law enforcement to how to deal with us, because their problem is really not us. They have internal problems. And if you got high suicide rate among law enforcement, alcohol is rise high among law enforcement, spousal abuse and and divorce rate is high among officers, then how can you be all messed up coming in the community is already messed up and police us? So they are really messed up, family. I'm telling you. I don't waste my time trying to teach us how to deal with us. I focus my mind and try to heal them of their own problems. You got racism within the police department. depression among police officers in the police department. Let me tell you, we said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leave this in. One of the 20 people that we gave the training to in the Flint Police Department, when he came into the training, he had his whole SWAT gear on, his tactical outfit. Oh, I knew something was then when I seen him walk in the door. He had enough stuff on him that if he fell, he'd blew up. I'm telling you the truth, partner. I looked at partner, I knew something was wrong with him. Nigga, with that shit.
You ain't need all that.
When he came in,
I wonder what that was all
when he came in,
in a room full of police officers and you coming across.
He came in. Look at, we had, one of the things we do, and my facilitator is my guy. His name is Big Morrison. He's a white retired police captain, 30. He the one do the try sit back. And we always take the windows in every training session for active shooters. We don't never know. We may be in somebody on the outside, so you take the window. Okay. So when he came in, and so Rick was saying to the officer, we take the case of active shooter. I hollered and said, well, hell, the active shooters on the inside. We try to keep that man just walked in the door. But listen to this. But truth, when he walked in, he made a statement that he psychologically messed up because he was the officer that killed that pedestrian who was trying to go past the Black Lives Matter. I don't know what it was, but he took a life.
Hold on, that was him?
That was him. And I didn't know that was him.
Well, Second on Street?
There's an officer's brother.
Oh yeah, ran the sister down during the parade.
Yeah.
Shot the sister.
Now, I didn't know this was him. And thank God I didn't know until after the training. Because me, I would have dealt with him differently. It wasn't until we did a couple weeks follow-up that he called my man Rick Morrison, because Rick gives him the number to call him after the training. And he asked Rick, how do you turn the noise off in your head? All the things you see when you go through, how do you take and turn that off when you go home? And then he told Rick who he was. You know what Rick told him, my man said? You would never turn it off after managing. I said, hey, Rick, you gave that one. You never would turn the noise off. You got to manage it, partner. And when we found out, and Rick called me and said, Captain, you know who that dude was? He said he wanted to eat the gun many times. When they commence, we call about eat the gun. But our class, we got him to laugh. He could do. But a lot of them officers, there was a sister in one of our training sessions. She was assigned to the I forgot when you deal with the children, domestic abuse. And she was so emotional when she came up on one of our little young kids that was killed that the officer told her, her field training officer told her, if you're gonna do all that crying, you ain't gonna make it. And now she told us in that meeting, she's been on the department for a year and she can deal with that and show no emotions. They desensitized. But these are the officers you see every day.
Yeah.
They messed up, family.
They have no connection.
And some of you got people in law enforcement. And we messed up. So understand when you're dealing with them. You're not dealing with some of them that's got it upstairs. They messed up. They going through trauma. We're going through trauma. And I thank God for Chief giving me the opportunity. But I don't waste my time teaching police how to deal with us because that's not their problem. They ain't losing on the streets. They losing at home. That's where they losing. So we talk about emotional survival. That's what we giving them. We trying to make them a human being again. We try to pour into them what they lose dealing with us. And we are desensitized today. A shooting can take place, we don't even duck no more. A killing take place, we don't feel it no more. So we desensitized. And desensitized meaning absence of sensitivity, which makes you a human being. If you don't have kind, caring, and compassion, something wrong with you. And that's why we all get frustrated and want to get out the game. And every now and then we need this kind of conversation to put back in us the sensitivity that we lose dealing with the madness we see every day on the TV, on the radio, and in our community, and all the sisters killing. It'll make you want to turn on your own people when they kill one of your family members.
And then the news is sensational.
Oh!
Put in your face. I can't even watch the news.
And I can't even look at video fights. I can't do that, y'all. I can't do that. I can't look at that, man.
I can't watch when people let the police beat people.
I can't watch that either.
That bothers me.
I don't get that.
That bothers me.
It'll be 30 motherfuckers around there, right?
30. And y'all just watch it.
And everybody talking about, that's all right, brother. I got it. I got it on camera. I man, put the damn thing, man, and get in and start swinging. Man, I don't need this thing. I got you, brother. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you, brother. Man, nigga,
Why is they doing this?
Yeah. Hey, yo, y'all ain't got it.
We got it on tape. We got it on tape.
I mean, if you don't put that damn phone down and get this back up off me.
All you need the phone for me to send my last message. I love you. I got to go tell me.
Yeah. I'm taking one for the team.
Right. Come on.
If we go down together, get on my brother. Charge.
Come on.
And let's get busy.
Yeah, where that energy?
And let God
But you know
figure
where
this
that
one out.
came from? That was passed down internally through the subconscious and the DNA of our people to not interfere with anybody that represents authority. If you watch them old Jim Crow movies, when the police was beating us and sicking dogs on us, it'll be a crowd of 100 black people and 10 white people. And they'll just watch the black person get Billy Club and bit. And you outnumbered. Out of y'all 100, all 10 of them can't kill all y'all before you kill all them. Somebody gonna take one for the team, but y'all get them.
And listen, I want to say, and I love what you said, I would love for us to take some time as all these organizations and find a retreat in nature so we can get back spirit. Come out of nature with that meeting with a fully charged battery to go back into the jungle, because that's what we're going back into, and help our people come out this condition. But we can't do it when we all need. We got to get fully charged. This summer's coming. You know what I like to do, Brother DeWaun? I like to do a peace concert. I've already talked to Fat Joe. I talked to a lot of the rappers. They want to stop and help with stop the violence. They want to come and do a peace concert. If we get the right figures and bring the right rappers and then get the crowd and we peacekeeper, everybody with the horns, ain't gonna be no madness. Ain't gonna be no shooting up in the air. And take the local young and give them a platform to rap with the OG rappers. But we're not bringing no rappers. It's not bringing no guys. We give my man Dougie Fresh, who would do the MC. Everybody love Dougie. They have an old school that night. But we can do that in Flint, Michigan. But they would come under the banner of unity, not no one organization. But as a collective. And I would bring all them that I know to the table. We can have a youth peace concert. Y'all can do it in Michigan.
We're going to do it.
Let's get on.
You know.
I'm telling you, watch how all the politicians show up now. Because y'all ain't got the youth.
Right.
You ain't got the youth.
Right.
But we allow you to say a few words if you act right. We let you up there to speak. If you act right.
No, we don't need that much. Right. I'm just saying.
But if you smart, if you hear me, if you smart, don't cut no deal with us and have strings of that enough strings you got on a fast shoot. Don't bring us no money with strings attached.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
I know that's
Yeah, well, I do this.
We can fundraise our own.
Yeah.
We don't got to get that.
Man, I got
If everybody in the city, just gave a dollar, the city of 100,000,
man, we can do it.
everybody buy in.
And you know, if Obama asked for $5, he We can leave that DeWaun. Can we leave that DeWaun?
Hey, we need to jump on that though.
You want to do that?
Oh man, come on.
Then God say, be, and it is.
Get in touch with Eminem because he was at the
Eminem would show up.
doing this, and I said, so he for us now.
We go to eat right now. Across the beach. We get Eminem. We can get Chris Rock.
Yeah.
The white dude, man. I mean, he's cool too. And I mean, we got a lot of people that's down with it. I know. I like to get my man Kevin's a person. Kevin Gates a person fan. He going through an identity crisis. I leave him alone right now.
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates would draw the crowd, but I got to work.
I like Kevin.
I know you do. I know you do. He's my man to them. And Kevin will come. God, listen, I talked to him one day. Kevin to come. Kevin to come.
Nah, he definitely good brother.
But we got to, you know,
Kevin talked to him. What?
That's for me. He did a training for me in river area, Florida. Kevin Gates talked to the youth there. He good dude. He's my man's in there.
T. Grizzly, I know T. Grizzly.
So we all know, man. I can get my man Egg B to get Rock, get him old. See, some is old school. We're gonna throw some old school in there.
Got to.
But we gotta throw the new ones in. Chain, 2 Chainz. We gotta throw some new ones in.
Man, we got them to come flip.
Yeah, but see, for a peace concert to stop the violence,
NBA young
the gun violence, they would be down.
We need something like that, bro.
They would be down. Listen to me. They would be down with us if it's about stopping the violence.
Man.
Because they losing through gun violence. How many rappers have we lost through gun violence?
We lost a lot.
So they down?
We lose them every other week.
They down, man. I'm telling you, they down. So all we got to do is organize, pick a day, get them to clear that day, see what we can do, so we can buy in, see what we got, what kind of venue we get. The city can give us a venue. We have a stadium. Y'all got a stadium.
Yeah, we got the North Shore Event Center.
We got that. It can be outdoors, indoors, whatever. Y'all know what y'all have.
Internet.
And then if we set to go somewhere in July, somewhere in August, whatever, it give us enough time to build up the momentum. I would like to have it before, but
kind of had those mini sessions leading up to the.
Oh yeah, we got to do like the minister did before. We did a Million Man March. We did an all men's only tour to build up to the Million Man March.
One part of it though is picking the venue up here.
So we do a sit together.
If it's a summer outdoor, it would be cool.
Let's do that.
If it be in a couple years,
Everybody is listening. You heard what we said now.
in a couple years,
If y'all down with us, y'all come and join us because this ain't no one man band. This everybody. We need everybody. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make Flint by God's permission one of the epic centers of peace. That's it. That's what y'all want to do. It would be ground zero. Ground zero for peace. We're gonna do that or die trying.
Change the narrative.
That changed the narrative up.
So I'm happy. I enjoyed.
We thirsty for that, man. Hear that?
Hey, listen.
Just like the wild said.
We're gonna be at the barbershop tomorrow. Where we at the barbershop?
2046 Corona Road with Kevin Wilson's barbershop at
Y'all
12
welcome.
o'clock.
I'm doing the barbershop talk. I
12
love
o'clock.
them. Now, you know, I pay a price. The dude did a good, everywhere I do a barbershop, I let the barbers get on there. And I don't know him from a can of paint. I take my chance. Some of them do a good job. Some puts me up, but that's the price I pay.
Right.
Hey, the next barbershop talk, we're going to do it courtside. We went over there before.
Let's do that.
Let's
Let's
a woman's salon.
You know what? We got, listen, set it up. That'll be the first woman salon that I've done.
We need to hear.
Let's do it. Sister Linda, we're not leaving the beauty salons out.
Women's salon.
I love that. Let's make that happen. I've been always wanted to get into the women's salon. You know, let's make that. That'd be awesome. Tomorrow, that's where we're going to be. Join us and let's get into some real discussion. I do less talking. All I do is facilitate and bring out those young people. I throw 3 questions on the floor and we deal with the question 3. And let everybody give their input of what they think the solution is to the question I asked. That's it. So we need women's opinion. We need I don't care who you are. Give us your opinion. I'm telling you. So we looking forward to it.
Lady T, she do a lot.
Set it up, sis. If you say, Miss D, would you be honored if we do the first salon talk? If she said, cool, the women in there, then they gonna be happy to see all these men walk up in there.
Right.
And we can get to the real nitty gritty. You know? I would love that.
Yeah.
That's the school.
Oh,
You talking about the cosmetology.
But that's the beauty.
What's the name?
Lady T, Tanya.
Oh, okay.
She do a lot of pop-up shops. Cause matter of fact, she's gonna be doing a pop-up shop. She have a really nice. She do a lot in the community.
I would
Lady
love.
T.
I'm leaving out Saturday evening, and I don't know how soon I'll be back.
Well, let me know, and I'll try to set it up with her because she do a lot of pop. She do a lot.
And if she decides she want to do something,
and everything,
probably about May, I may have to do this surgery, but I'll be in good shape to double back, and we can set it up for sometime in May. And I'll be able to build up.
Prayers up. We take care of you. Just come stay this week. We have stuff lined up there.
Would you please?
We should do the Mother's Day thing.
Put me to work. I love to work now. I'm on work. As long as you feed me after the day, that's all I ask is a good meal. I'll work for some oats. Give me some good oats. I'm a good horse. Feed me some good oats and all that. You know what I'm saying?
What you got to eat today?
Well, give me something to eat. Well, y'all tell me where y'all want me to eat at. What time is it? Well, y'all want to take? I can go to Battle West. It's pretty warm. Maybe some other place.
That's about Battle West. I'm probably the only person you don't want to get real.
It's the famous days.
But ain't everywhere you eat don't have pork. We just don't order that on the menu.
Hey, John,
Where the Jamaicans? Yeah.
Jamaican spot sells.
Oh, that's so.
I used to work with him.
But you know the ramen, the
I used to
Muslims
work with
break
him.
it.
I know what you're talking about. Because he be
So
rapping
we
too,
can
don't
eat
he?
now.
If it's on boundary, yeah, if it's on boundary, they close by 7 and 8.
I'm not.
That's it.
I see
everybody put up
I gotta eat with my wife.
Man, I know.
If I go out and eat and don't come home and eat.
I know that's
Oh yeah, you sound like Cole. You want to sound like Cole, lady.
But you know what?
You sound like Cole, lady.
Listen. Here's what we got to do. Here's what we got to do, family. I appreciate it, but I do have my wife at the hotel. She know I don't be like you. So I would say let's set up something for dinner tomorrow, which is Friday, right after the thing, and let's do that tomorrow. Let's set up and we can find a spot. So to help find a spot and tell everybody. And y'all,
Beverly Black on.
there you go. And y'all meet my wife and we have break bread tomorrow.
Tomorrow, what time?
6:30.
We can break bread about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I know that may be late.
After the barbershop meeting?
No, the barbershop meeting after, but it'll be late on that evening.
Because we got some people on Ramadan.
Yeah,
That we can't eat
I would catch
tomorrow.
I gotta
We can't eat till 8,
Ramadan.
15.
Yes.
15, you gotta wait for the sun.
We gotta
Oh,
reach
okay.
after 8 o'clock,
Okay.
and then I can reach out because
Yeah, but we can do that. But that's cool. I mean, y'all can just hold tight and then we break bread like that. But let's do something tomorrow. Have something really planned, and I like to meet your families if they can do that. That'd be great for me to eat my meal.
I'll be at the barbershop thing.
Yeah.
I'm heading to Texas actually.
People
tomorrow,
out there, actually.
but I was going Saturday morning. I think I was leaving for Detroit like
Six,
this.
man. We
around
put
8.
these together. You know what I'm saying?
But I want to set up. I want to make sure, even if I got to move stuff around, I'm going to break bread.
Well, I'll be honest. Let's do that. If so tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Let's do something tomorrow. As you say, leave another say. Let's do something tomorrow and break bread. I just want to finish up our conversation. And even if you decide, here's what I would like for you to do. Come to the hotel I'm staying at and let us sit down and talk. All right? So right after we do the barbershop, I'm going to go back to my hotel and we can sit down.
Yes, indeed.
And then have a discussion. All right. Now, I'm sitting here every night because I'm on a whole list of medicine that I have to get for this pre-op. So I'm not as close to doing Ramadan so I can drink. So, but I will be able to have some coffee.
Okay.
All right, so we can have coffee. I won't eat, but I'll be able to have some coffee. But I during Ramadan because I'm taking medicine. So we can have coffee right after the barbershop talk. We can have it before you get out of here. We can do that.
Okay.
That's good?
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I appreciate I appreciate the conversation, man. And I just appreciate just everything just coming together, man. We will work on that peace jam.
Let's do that.
To talk about exactly.
I like that word, peace jam.
That's the show is. Put a twist on the peace jam.
That's gonna be
Yeah, let's do it.
I like that. Like you said,
Everybody, we get $1.
And bring some of these young artists, but it's the message that we promote. Right? You might start buying in.
And then we have a nice little facade, something vending. So people got where it's black people. We want to sell, so we have a vending area. We have a food truck. So we keep the money in house. We keep the money in house. So if you got a food truck you want to sell, you want to do some vending hot dogs, we have a section. You got wares you want to. There's a section for that. Black enterprise. But man, we're gonna have a peace jam, baby.
Let's do it. What?
That'll be at the we're talking about the Dork Curry Event Center. It's a large event center.
It's got a big parking area. You know what I'm saying?
We can do
versus
Atwood
Stadium was a good outdoor venue, but the parking area at Dork Federal would accommodate all the food trucks and everything. You know what I mean?
We got some funders who would love to help us dealing with because
Then you start with DeWaun. You start with some of the peace jam.
The number is one. Right.
Hey man, well, I'm happy. Thank y'all so much for honoring me.
That's why I said we still alive.
Blackout.
We're gonna turn it down for the night for the live, but we appreciate everybody who tuned in for Fli-City Blackout. Make sure you check out Captain Dennis Muhammad. Subscribe. Make sure you, of course, share and like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate just everybody to support it. Be looking out for that Summer Peace Jam. We're gonna be, strategizing on what that looks like. Tap in to Captain Dennis Muhammad. I gotta tell you, man, I'm running off for like 3 hours of sleep for the past 4 days. So I'm like, man, I'm on fumes right now.
You look like a dog.
Yeah, but definitely, man, like you said, man, what inspired me is when you said, when the minister said, harder than I ever could. I think I'm ready to go. I'm ready to eat something too. Right?
I know that's right.
And we're gonna definitely keep the mission going. So I appreciate everything, Captain.
Thank you, man. Love you, brother.
Love you too, brother.
Thank you for honoring me with your audience, man. And I'm hoping to see everybody. And I thank y'all for accepting me as your brother. I just got I already get card. I never want to take it for granted that I'm always welcome. But I don't mind being not welcomed by the enemy. But I'm always happy to be welcomed by those who love the work of the ministry and the family.
That's right.
Thank you, sisters. The next time y'all got to sit up here, we gotta listen to y'all.
They had something to say.
Oh yeah, they said a whole lot over there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's kicking the Billy Popos over there.
One of them been up here before.
We can't go nowhere without you. We lift you up, we lift our damn selves up. Thank you. And let me go get home and get my wife and I something to eat and rest up and get ready for this barbershop talk tomorrow. And if you make it, I'll be happy to see you. Sisters, if y'all working, if you can't. But
so how we shut it down, we give them a blackout in the end.
We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. We light it up like sauce and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs. Fli-City come off all, then it, then it. We light it up like sauce and